All right, there we go. Hi guys, it's been a while since I last did a Lumicast. Arch was lazy this week, and I told him whether if he streams or not. Well, if he streams, cool. If not, I'm streaming on his channel. So yeah, this is what y'all get. But hello, I know I'm 2 weeks late talking about the streamer awards, but Milking Farm was a higher priority for Arch at the time.
Very understandable.
They've got
But
their priorities straight. What can I say?
exactly. It's so we have two people with us to talk about the. Well, we're not going to talk about all the streamer awards because I don't care about flush streamers all that much unless they're my friends. But we're going to be talking about Burnt Peanut, Iron Mouse, and Gatekeeping VTubing. And I have Armchair with us, the resident yapper, the man who can say that he is doing short streams, but they end up being about 8 hours long. And we also
Thank
have
you for that very
Zan.
kind introduction.
We also have Zan, the PR Frenchman.
Hello.
But how are you guys doing, chat? How was your Christmas? I hope you got some good presents or you got really drunk. Milking Farm 3. I don't know if that's funded yet, and I really don't want it to. Because the next one we have to read is a Mothman one, and after that is like a Wool or something, and I don't want to dabble in the necrophilia book right now.
You're really just like ratcheting up notch by notch with our judge, you guys.
You know, it's funny you talk about getting drunk on Christmas because I actually read a lot of like biography books from coroners. You know, people who study bodies and stuff,
Mhm.
and there's been great length of talk about like the free risk increasing factor for passing on to the other side is alcohol, car, and family. And funnily enough, on Christmas and New Year, if you get all those three at the same place, so maybe be careful, guys.
Oh
Maybe you shouldn't do Christmas with your families because this is where you're at the biggest risk of getting unalived.
yeah. We already got a couple of super chats. I will read those right away before. Actually, no, I'm going to switch to Arch's account so I can actually mark off where I end up. That's the one thing that I don't like about the editor stuff for YouTube, that I can't mark it off myself. But I guess it also makes sense. Hello Boog, thank you for the Mexicans. Milk for the milk farm, feet for the feet fish. Merry Christmas to all and Happy New Year. Sandu, mandatory late and gay. No, I was on time, except for the topic, but that's not my fault. Reverend Norris, Sue Stroming cast with Lum Lum. I guess technically yes. Father Jack the Enlightened, fun to the Archcast, and feet for the foot goddess. Enjoy them toes, Lumi. I hate you. Zantar, fish, red faction gorilla one, when I decide to. Boog, milking farm is a more pressing matter. To Amal specifically with the werewolf. I don't know how to pronounce your name, but I'll just say Ochi. For Lumi Choice and Do Not Broadcast Fund. That's gonna go towards Dawn of War 3. Boog is there a Roachman milking farm? I hoped not. Adventurer at Heart, here's to a new year for Ella Serrana, Milking Farm 3 requires just over $300 more before it's fun. Lovely. And then, gonna say Tango. Lum best archcaster. Thank you. And Ella Serrana, are you going to read the new official Lumi lifecycle document on stream today? The Forbidden One wants me to read it when Arch is here, so we'll save that for next week. Alright. So where do we want to get started with this? Because I have a lot of links.
I guess I could start with showing off the all awaited new PNG that was made by someone you guys actually know. It's Demonstrous. I'm
Oh,
sure that
nice.
name should ring familiar to you. He's the one who actually made that to me as like a favor, and yeah, he's very cool. There you go. You guys should see it now.
Finally, a face to the French.
Finally, a face to the French. I'm not just a corporate suit logo man anymore. Which,
Drac-
funnily enough, was made by Armchair. So
Did,
everything's connected, guys. Be paranoid.
did you ask him to do the pointing up thing when you start speaking?
No, I mean, he did it by himself, but I
I,
would have asked if he hadn't.
I love how it
He-
gives like the actually vibe whenever you start
yes,
speaking.
yes, that was a bit of the point. Because he asked me a couple of questions about like my personality and stuff, and we've talked a plenty before, so he kind of gets me. So I feel like he really encaptured my personality with this one.
Uh,
Very
The idea
good.
was like a friendly manhwa charmster intellectual type of guy. So yeah, that's why we ended up throwing a bit of a Gundam aesthetic in there, some Xeon stuff, and there we go. That's what we came up with.
Oh, very good. In
So
Tarantine,
yeah,
thank you for the 3,000 Norwegian kroners. Lum, it's werewolf. It's not werewolf, it's werewolf. In Milking Farm 3, hope you're happy. Fuck!
werewolf. Excuse me. I
Tarantine,
know you were into that movie.
no, that's Mal. Tarantine, you need to start. You need to start directly donating to me and not Arch, so then these don't count towards the funds. Fuck you. Oh man. All right, but I think for now, you know what? We'll just start with the first screenshot in the Google Drive. Then we'll just go from there. So, you know what? I'll just start explaining from the beginning on how the fuck we even got here, because people have been talking about gatekeeping and VTubing for literal years, and it's gotten so out of hand. It is impossible to do. All you can do is police your own little corners and make sure that anyone you don't want around you stays the fuck out. And unfortunately, one of the main people who really, really, really want to push VTubing to the mainstream is Iron Mouse. And it's like a lot of people love Iron Mouse. Me, I don't watch her content. I don't really care. But like, I get with her illness and stuff, she wants to be able to interact with more people. She doesn't want to be just tied to the greater VTuber. I hate using this word, but she doesn't want to be tied to the greater VTuber community at all times. She wants to be able to interact with other IRL streamers, which is why she has Connor to lug her around everywhere. But she's gotten to the point where she is the Oprah of VTuber models, where she just wants to give everybody who breathes in her general direction a model. And it's still my prediction that for 2026 she is going to get Hassan a VTuber model. What do you guys think?
I feel like I could see that potentially happening if we went off of Hassan's brand image from 2024 to maybe early 2025. But I feel like if she were to do it now, it would probably be brand suicide for her.
What do you think,
Yeah,
Zan?
I don't think I have anything to add. Brand suicide is pretty much the word for it. You have to ask yourself, is it worth it? And I don't see any potential situation where it will be worth it. I don't know, like, what do you gain from doing this? There's nothing to gain. You can only lose something in this situation. Therefore, it is not worth even considering.
I mean,
Very cynical, I know, but yeah,
Zan, I'm one of the most cynical people out there, and it's like every
true. It's
everyone
it's more
knows
for
that
the
she,
audience.
yeah, it's like everyone knows she is friends with Hassan. Everyone knows that she wants everybody to be a VTuber, whether they like it or not. Even if they only use the model once and then they throw it away and then they start, making fun of VTubers. Which,
Hi Kai Senat, hi Dan Clancy. Nice to see you there in the corner.
and fucking Clancy, man. He's a whole other goddamn rabbit hole, but Armchair already covered that.
Hey,
True.
he covered it with me.
I'm
We
Dan
actually made
Clancy's.
the collab
Yeah,
with
we are Dan Clancy's #1 anti.
Ugh, man. But yeah, essentially this started with the VTuber Awards. Not VTuber Awards, fucking the Streamer Awards, where I've never heard of this dude until recently, but a guy named the Burnt Peanut won Best VTuber, and there's a lot of mixed reception. I was surprised there was a lot more like, VTubers just wanted to be like, yeah, he's a VTuber, guys, hell yeah. And then a lot of them, they're just like, this dude's not a fucking VTuber. Just a dude with a goddamn Snapchat filter. Which I agree with Kitsu on. He's not a VTuber. He says that he's not a VTuber. He says he doesn't like VTubers, and honestly, I think I was watching Armchair stream on this, and he was really pushed by Shroud to go for this VTuber award. And of all people, Shroud? Yeah, no, that should be a red flag for anyone with a working frontal lobe.
what's
It's really,
Shroud's
yeah.
what's Shroud personality at this point outside of flaunting his money around?
It's still that.
Monotone gaming.
Yeah, and monotone
That's true.
gaming.
But yeah, I was gonna say it's really, really funny how you had a bunch of VTubers basically going into this, Twitch VTubers, I should probably specify, going into this and trying to make the case that he is a VTuber, and basically dragging the entire thing into a semantic debate on what a VTuber is, and ignoring or failing to see the rather large elephant in the room, which was just that regardless of what you think he is, his presence in that award was very explicitly made in order to make a joke at your expense, which
Yeah.
is
And it's like,
that point just kind of like sailed over everyone's head.
To
like
reinforce that point, you should check everyone who's like a bit overly enthusiastic about Peanut winning and check where do they stream. Do they stream on YouTube or Twitch? And once you realize that, like, at least from the data I've collected, 95% of the people who were in full support of this are on Twitch. You start thinking about like Twitch culture. How are people successful on Twitch? What makes Twitch work as a platform? And then you start realizing, oh, maybe that support is again, we're going back to the purely cynical, oh, if I suck up to him, I'll get his clout kind of route. And that's pretty much it. I'm pretty sure like many people know in the back of their mind that this is a joke at their expense, but they've made the decision that chasing his clout is more worth than any backlash they could receive from supporting him.
it's so stupid because it's like we've seen this with a lot of different types of VTuber drama, especially if it involves large corpos or very large successful indies. Self-respect gets thrown out the window as soon as they see a ladder to climb. Even if they have a very minute chance of going any higher than where they were in the beginning, they will just be like, "Oh, my ethics and like the things that I stand for. Oh, who gives a shit about that? I could get like 10 more subscribers out of this." And it's like people saying like, "Oh, but all the other nominees were congratulating him." It's like, yes, that's honestly
No
what
shit.
people
Of course.
expect of
And
like,
I mean, like, look at
nominees of anything.
look at the people who look at everyone else but Mouse. They just congratulated him and never mentioned the award ever again.
Yeah.
They did
exactly.
basically like the social minimum. Uh, the agreed upon social code of the minimum of congratulating your opponent after they win, and then they never brought it up ever again. And oh, geez, I wonder why they did that.
And it's like, granted, people who have never had a job in their lives probably won't be able to visualize this properly. But for those who have had a job and had to congratulate somebody for either winning a literal nothing employee award or somebody getting a promotion, you have to say, "Oh, congratulations," but you still want them to get hit by a bus in 3 business days.
Yeah, it's basically just you have to be a good sport about things if you're part of a competition. So
Yeah.
if you lose, it makes sense for you to congratulate the winner. Not saying that any of the congratulations are inauthentic, but just that that is the expected norm, and that is, as Zan said, the minimum criteria to fulfill the social contract of participating in a competition.
Yeah. I don't know. It's like people just trying to use Mori, Chibidoki, Iron Mouse, and those are the only nominees for
There
best
was also
VTuber.
Kenji, I believe.
You know, I keep
Yeah.
forgetting he exists. He only gets brought up in drama, and
You
then
you
he's
know
gone.
I saw an hilarious joke about it where they were like, "Oh, we actually the awards are racist because we didn't elect the first black VTuber to win the year," and I'm like, "Oh yeah, oh beautiful."
It and it's like, okay, thinking about it, it's like,
You know
honestly,
when you
Kenji should
start
have won.
thinking
Kenji should
when you
have
start
won for the best
thinking
normie VTuber, because
true,
at least Kenji is a fucking VTuber. He is
yeah.
for the normies. It's like no one ever brings him up in any type of like VTuber discourse or even like any events and stuff. No one's like, "Oh, we invited Kenji." It's like, no, he is the Zoomer VTuber for those with short attention spans. It's like, good on him. Get that money. You found your niche and you are capitalizing the fuck out of it. Kenji should have won. Honestly.
No, but it's like when you start looking through, which I will say is an absolute horrendous prism to look at things, but when you start looking at it through the prism of like race, gender, etc., okay, so in an environment that is mostly populated by women, a male one, and not only that, the black male didn't win. Ah, how unwoke of you, how unprogressive. When you start looking through those ideas, it makes it just infinitely funnier.
Yeah. And it's just like, I honestly think well, we all know the streamer awards is just rich IRL streamers jerking each other off, and they're like, "Oh, you're the best. Oh no, you're the best." This is the closest that they're gonna get to an IRL streamer for a VTuber. That's probably one of the only reasons why he won, besides Shroud really just bringing it up on every stream that he did. That's just me. That's my cynical ass.
Yeah, I mean, the other thing as well is also that when it comes to Shroud basically plugging him at every chance, pretty much gave him a massive edge over all of the other nominees because I very, very much doubt that between Kenji, Iron Mouse, Mori, or Chibi, that any of their audiences or even the creators themselves would really give a shit about the streamer awards. So I doubt they would be actively telling their audience to go vote for them or whatever.
Yeah.
Whereas with Burnt Peanut, it's being actively pushed to a pretty massive audience, even if it is a massive audience that doesn't actually watch VTubers.
And it's like, what's interesting because I was looking into his analytics for viewers, new subscribers, and everything like that. It's like he went from a pretty steady, like natural growth to just instantaneously like millions of views within like a week, starting in mid-September. So it's like, if it was really, if it wasn't for Shroud, I don't think he'd be on anybody's radar.
I
I don't know.
certainly don't think that without Shroud he would be in this category of the streamer awards.
Probably not. Also, Armchair's quiet. I'll turn him up. Armchair is a natural quiet man. That's okay. Up a bit. Alright. He's louder. But yeah, after Kitsu said non-VTuber won Best VTuber award, people started tried to community note her. I think this is the one thing that I love about being part about the community note stuff, is I can see this shit. But then people just start attacking her like crazy. And just, if he's not a VTuber, and what is he? It's like VTuber. People also start breaking down what a VTuber is. It's like, if you, again, just because I was recently rewatching your stream armchair. The very specific definition of a VTuber is a virtual YouTuber. So does that mean that Twitch streamers aren't VTubers? Should they be called V-Twitchers or something like that?
Yeah, all of the people who are getting into semantics, breaking down VTuber as a word, the recurring theme was always that they would focus on the V and they would completely ignore tuber.
Yeah.
And the other focus was that they would completely. Don't forget that the people that I saw arguing this never talked about VTuber a single time before. It's just for that moment that they decided as if they know any better. Actually, let me see if I can find that again because I had a pretty. Hang on, give me a second. I'm gonna find the post. You can keep going.
Okay. Which post of mine did I bring? All right. The page Stream Charts that likes to put all the top 10 rankings for female streamers, male streamers, VTubers, everything like that. December 1st was the first week that they started bringing up the burnt peanut in terms of viewers. And I just put a post doesn't want to be called a VTuber until it involves showing up in top VTuber posts. And Stream Charts replied to this person who said someone should community note this since Peanut said he's not a VTuber, doesn't want to be associated with VTuber. Stream Charts reached out to him personally and said we spoke to him about it. He's okay with being included as a VTuber in the tops. Hope it helps. Like, dude, okay. So he hates VTubers, doesn't want to be called a VTuber, but wants to be part of top VTuber posts.
In his defense, who would say no to free clout? You know.
Sure.
Every
defense.
VTuber would just be like, "Oh yes, I love that clout," and that's why we still have VTubers that decide to post their face when they get called 40-year-olds by XQ fucking C.
I actually found the post in question. It's in the live link if you want to open it up.
Okay. Okay, so this one is a Zan post where he says, I love how people are not VTubers, have never cared about VTubing, are lecturing people on what is a VTuber. This is pure... What's that word, Zan?
Sophistry.
Sophistry? The fuck is that? You know what? Read
you don't
this
know what
because
a sophist is?
No, I don't. Also, just read the rest of this. That's a French name. I don't want to read it.
That's not a French name. That's from
your
Greek
word.
philosophy.
That's your word.
Okay.
That's your word.
Okay, this is pure sophistry. It sounds clever, but it's brain dead. Ferdinand de Saussure proved 200 years ago that cultural usage give words meaning. Descriptivism, that's how that philosophy is called. By the Wikipedia definition, Peanut is a VTuber. By the collective representation of what a VTuber is, or what image do people conjure when they hear the word VTuber, it is absolutely not. But does it matter that much? I'm not so sure anymore after thinking about it. What does matter, and is irrefutable, is that Peanut is the perfect simulacrum for people who don't like VTubing. He's been handed out the best VTuber award by people who hate VTubing as a way to mock and spite the entire industry to make a joke out of our passion. And then,
exactly.
I just bring up the fact that, down below you will find the definitions because I assumed, rightfully so, that the average Twitter user doesn't understand complicated words.
Shut up.
Which I was proven right.
Shut up.
Basically, sophistry is basically a fallacious argument where you try to sound clever, but you're using intellectually dishonest arguments. Like it sounds clever, but when you start thinking about it, it's actually from a fucking dimwit.
Yeah.
The example that I always default to is basically asking someone, "Do you have a dog?" Yes. Is your dog a father? Yes. Does that mean the dog is your father? And then if they don't say yes, then you get to you get to act all smart in front of them, right? But with the main point about all of this, which I am glad that your post got to, is that you don't bother arguing definitions with people who don't give a shit, or maybe even actively hate you and what you represent or what you do. And
Mhm.
fundamentally, that's what people were getting sucked into when they were talking about the burnt peanut thing.
I actually QRT'd my own post and called that dimwitism. Because it's like I'm actually very happy because I got the occasion to make the bell curve meme. With on one side, dictionaries are for stupid people, the middle, but in the dictionary it says, and on the right side, dictionaries are for stupid people. Point, point, point. Because it's really what it is at the end of the day. Like, the, sure, in the dictionary, in the Wikipedia, it says this, but when you start thinking about it, well, the dictionary definition, it doesn't matter. Like arguing that Peanut is a VTuber or not is irrelevant because it will simply get nowhere. You will achieve nothing with that discussion. On the other hand, it's very provable and arguable to show that Peanut is a perfect idea of what an anti-VTuber would want a VTuber to be. And so that's why they pushed him as the winner because like this is the anti VTuber.
Yeah, the thing that I just didn't really understand is you could literally find clips where the streamers in question that were pushing Peanut, including Peanut himself to some extent, they were all saying the same thing, which was, would his win piss off VTubers? And since the answer was
Yes,
yes, they thought that that
Mm.
was a good reason to put him on there. And there was a bit of time immediately after his win was announced where people tried to make the argument that it was all a bit, but again, if you go and check the original sources of those clips,
it's clearly
it's
not.
very much, yeah, it's clearly not a bit.
Yeah.
You're being disingenuous, right? You're trying to think I'm stupid. I don't like that. You fucking dimwit.
It's like honestly VTubing, at least while everything was still very hot after the streamer awards, is suffering through the exact same thing as anime community is suffering through post 2020, where it's just a bunch of hoodweebs or various other words that I can't say live, otherwise I'd get Arch's channel deleted. Um, just coming into anime, calling everyone who enjoys things that aren't the mainstream popular anime freaks, pedophiles, stuff like that. But it's like you just
Arch,
started.
I
You just
said a bad word. I lost the channel. What do we do with the homeless?
it's like just because people like other stuff than Attack on Titan, Naruto, fucking One Piece, shit like that. The whole One Piece topic is a different stream within itself. But yeah, no. People are allowed to enjoy niche anime. You're not allowed, like, you cannot come into a genre of entertainment and then start policing people that have been around for like decades longer than you've probably been alive. It's just like general fandoms where fandoms are for the freaks. They are the foundation of what fandom is, and you can't take them out. Otherwise, things will just start collapsing all around you. Arch, go back to your hole. But yeah, just Blue Archive fans are gatekeeping gods. They are. It's impressive how quickly they were able to just be like, the fuck is this? Then the developers of Blue Archive is like, oh, we're sorry. It just completely cancels the sponsorship streams. It was funny. It's like honestly, it's like Zentrea seemed like she would have done a fine job. Iron Mouse probably just doing it for the sponsor. I don't know what she does. The other dude,
I
I don't
really
know
like
who
the
he
way
is.
Zentreya, Gigok is also, I guess you could say, an anime veteran
Yeah.
of sorts. He's been in the AniTuber scene for longer than Connor even. You know, I actually think Zentreya took that pretty well. You know, I actually like to see Zentreya get that Blue Archive sponsorship one day. I think she'd do it justice.
Mm-hmm. But it's like after that one Trash Taste episode, Connor it definitely would not enjoy Blue Archive.
Yeah,
He was definitely
people
only
brought back up that clip of him aiding on what was it again? I think it was oh, oh,
Something by Aramanga Sensei.
yeah, Eromanga
yeah.
Sensei, yeah.
I don't know. It's like it's funny. It would have been funny to see him have to like forcibly say nice things about Blue Archive, but it's not. That's
I don't
not
think he
worth.
even would have done that, to be completely honest.
Yeah.
I mentioned this before, but I'm pretty sure he would have just spent most of the stream pretending to be like incredulous or surprised or embarrassed at what was showing on screen for the most part.
Wow, this
It,
game has lolly. Wow, who would have known?
it's like it would have been funny, but in the long run, not worth bringing in a bunch of antis that would have been like, oh, what's this pedophile game? This needs to be banned. Blah, 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 blah. It's like, shut up.
You know, snark is only worth an instant laugh, but it always turns into poison the longer it remains
Yeah,
on there. So, you know, it would have been fun in the moment, but long-term consequences are probably disastrous.
yeah, and again, that's another issue that we have with with VTuber fan, well, newer VTuber fans, normies, and people who use VTuber models, but they actively say that they hate anime. And that is still the most wild thing that I see on Twitter. It's like, oh yeah, I'm a VTuber, I make a ton of money, but I fucking hate anime. Like, why are you here then? Why are you skinwalking as a goddamn anime fan? It's stupid. It's so fucking stupid, man.
You answered your own question. Money.
I know. I know. And I think that's another thing on I wish the barrier to entry for VTubing was a lot higher because no hate to the artists and riggers who make the customizable models. They're way too fucking cheap. Anybody can just grab them and say, "Oh my god, I'm a VTuber now." Please. It's like I get it. I get that getting a customizable model is a little pricey. Like I got my first model in a raffle for free, which was great. Then I found my rigger that I've been using since 2019. And it's been lovely. I then upgraded to this model, and with like everything so far that I have with this model, including the outfit that I haven't debuted yet, that will be next year. I spent maybe about 2,500 in total, which is on the cheaper end comparing to like the 10K to 20K models that are out there. Because like with Kevin, with his rig specifically, base price $2,000 for a Kevin rig, which is insane. But he is a dream rigger for a lot of people.
I mean, he does have an extensive portfolio, and you know, he's got a very unique bouncy style that is especially appealing to, let's just say, a specific crowd of people. But you know, I mean, even then, I still remember that Pipa video where she explained how you can be a VTuber for $100. You know, buying a shitty laptop and having a PNG, and boom, you can start being a VTuber. I think
Yeah,
that like the barrier for entry was always set low. It's just that you have more bad actors and people who view this as a cheap and fast way to profit that have
Yeah.
entered the
It
space
became a
rather than
trendy thing to adopt.
yeah, it's
yeah,
not that the barrier for entry is too low, it was always low. The issue is that it got pushed to the mainstream, so you know we go back to that. It became trendy, like Armchair said.
yeah.
Yeah.
But also like I'm going to be virtually racist here, but as soon as people started saying PNG tubers are VTubers, that's when the barrier of entry became in hell. Because
Fair
honestly,
enough.
PNG tubing is like it's like your 90-day grace period on when you get hired at a new job. If you figure out you don't like it within that 90 days, or like, for streaming like a year, then you didn't spend a lot of money, you can leave gracefully. As soon as you get like $100 customizable model, that's just no. I'm pixel racist. I'm sorry, guys, but that's just how it is.
Archer, look at her, how she's being racist toward us. She's a misandrist. She hates male PNG too.
No, I'm not. I'm not a misandrist. I hate more women than I do men. It's okay.
True. You guys wish you could see our DM sometime. I'm like, man, VTubing being VTubing and being mostly women. Even I'm impressed about how many women you don't like.
Hey, one of the
I often say that women's biggest enemy, especially in VTubing, are other women because they have incentive to get in each other's way and damage each other's career, especially because, not gonna go back to the whole social talk about how women prefer damaging reputation, yada yada. Uh, damage reputation as a weapon. But it just proves, all of that reading I've done. It's like, I have a case study right in front of me. Here's Lumnum.
Oh man, it's funny, but like what one of the main VTuber that I did not like for literal years. She graduated. She is nowhere to be found. I've been I know I'm being stupidly petty here, but I've been checking her old links and none of them have a new name to it. It is fantastic.
It's terrible that I know exactly who you're talking about because you've talked about me so much about her.
I have over 300 screenshots of her history that is backed up on a local file. It's okay.
And she's a terrible person. Like, there's no arguing. There's no, like, objectively terrible person.
Yes. And then there's the sex fest that somehow managed to get away, but whatever, I guess. But to move back onto the topic of the streamer awards, the Peanut, but granted, we're gonna kind of scoot past him a bit because things changed from the attention to Peanut to the attention of Iron Mouse when she decided to stand in front of Peanut and you know just be like, oh, but he is a VTuber, guys. I will take all the criticism and put it on my shoulders. And then people started attacking her like crazy. Like, there's always been criticisms towards Iron Mouse, but she had the good old V Shoujo shield that kept her nice and safe. She never had to deal with the hell of her own making until now. And Proctor.
Oh wait, should we show the tweet from IMOS first, just so people have an idea of what she said and why people got mad?
Me cringing at all the people mad that Peanut won. Proctor did quote retweet that.
Oh, okay.
Yep. But I will just quick go on here where she says, me cringing at all the people mad that Peanut won. Every VTuber in that category deserved to be there. I'm sorry, but you're objectively wrong, Iron Mouse.
Like,
and
the thing is, it's like Zan said, if she in a similar manner to the other nominees simply congratulated him winning and didn't touch the poo any further, then this would not have happened. But she went in there and didn't just defend Peanut. She threw shade at the people who were mad that he won, while making no attempt to delineate which group of the people who were mad that he won she was referring to, when she said that they were cringe. Right? The thing is, if you want to, I can understand if iMouse has disdain for the people who were trying to argue semantically that Peanut was not a VTuber, because her own definition of what a VTuber is a rather loose one. So I understand that. But she didn't even. The problem is, her response aggroed everyone, including all the people who were justifiably, regardless of where you stand, mad that he was used as a tool to mock the category that he was nominated in.
Yeah, and it's just like what when I already said this earlier, but people who are just agreeing with everything that she says, like literally everything she says, they're just purely ladder climbing because they're like, oh, she might have seen my post, so she might shout me out one day on Twitch. Like, no, no, my dude. But Proctor, it's like I don't agree with Proctor on some things. A lot of people did not agree with him on this post. He was bold to say it. He was correct when he said, "I'll dare, I'll dare to say it. If Iron Mouse wasn't seriously ill, she'd be an average flush streamer and hate VTubers. The only reason she is one is because that's what her life circumstances forced her to be. How else should I interpret her choosing to spit on the medium whenever possible?" He's, again, bold to say it. He is not incorrect, though.
I will say that I disagree with him saying that she would be a flesh streamer instead of as if because the way he phrased it made it sound as if she'd never become a VTuber. And I don't know if that would have been the case because she said previously that she was on track to become an opera singer if it weren't for her illness, basically altering the course of her life.
Mm,
And there are plenty of cases where people go into, let's say, occupations that don't pay very well, the arts being a rather infamous field for that kind of thing. So I don't think that there's any reason why she wouldn't have, she couldn't have gone into that if she wasn't sick and then later on became a VTuber afterwards. But the overall point that he's making about how Iron Mouse's actions are very easily interpreted as her disliking or hating or eroding the medium, that is something I can absolutely see.
it's like,
I said it myself on Twitter that Mouse essentially put herself in a position to be hated by everyone because,
mm,
all the Flash streamer fans, the Kaisenad fans, the Peanut fans, all of them, well, they just hate VTubing. So, it doesn't matter how much niceness and delicacy you give them. You don't feed jam to pigs. They're just gonna
yeah.
spit it out in your face. They're gonna reject it. And so and her saying that the people who are getting upset at this are cringe, well, that's gonna be a lot of
Yeah.
VTuber and VTuber fans in there. And the whole VTubing is cringe thing, you put that on top of that. I don't know if that was intentional or not. I doubt it was, but people are subconsciously gonna make that association that, oh, she's
Yeah.
hating on VTuber. She's using the same words that anti use because all
Mm,
Yeah.
those antis called VTubing and VTuber cringe. She's using the exact same verbosage, so people are gonna associate the two. And now VTuber fans are also either in a position where it's awkward for them to defend her, so they're just not gonna do it, or they're gonna clap, but in the back of their mind, they lost a lot of respect for her, or they're actually gonna start, well, being upset at her, which, I think all those three things turned out to be true in their own different ways.
yeah, but also don't
Yeah.
forget a lot of people, like they've been saying this for years, especially when she was still in V Shoujo. They're just like, oh, Iron Mouse is the face of VTubing, and what she says is law. What Iron Mouse says should apply to all of VTubing, stuff like that. One,
It's just
you
that
should
there were people trying to put her on a pedestal as some sort of spokeswoman for all of VTubing or
they're
all of
trying to deify
VTubers.
her because she's sick and she's a VTuber that has a lot of viewers. Never
Yeah.
deify
And
anybody.
the thing is, some people may bristle at you saying that, but the thing is, the thing that I found to be really interesting about the way that people read Proctor's tweet was the fact that most of them didn't. Because
Yeah.
they saw Iron Mouse and ill in the same sentence. And I said this to Zan and Lumi off stream, but they read Iron Mouse and ill in the same sentence, and then they fast forwarded through the rest of it, and they basically assumed that what Proctor was saying is that she wouldn't be successful if she wasn't ill. Whereas in actuality, what he was doing was posing a hypothetical that if she wasn't ill, then she might not have become a VTuber, and that her investment in VTubing, as it exists right now, does not actually seem to be in the form of caring about the medium, but rather
Mm.
just using it as just another streaming tool.
Yeah. It's like there
Rather than
isn't.
saying a streaming tool, I would say using it as a convenience.
Yeah.
Yeah, as a convenience rather than as a this medium that is unique and has its own subculture, etc., etc., etc.
And it's like there is an opera singer that is a VTuber. It's like I didn't know that she was an opera singer until she posted one of her songs. I am terrible. I forgot her name, but she's a redheaded siren VTuber. No, not that one, Zan. The better one. And it's like she never like face posts. She just does her own thing. She's really good at what she does. She honestly needs more attention. But I honestly think that if Iron Mouse wasn't sick, I think she would have essentially took the place of where Pokimane is right now in terms of popularity.
Hmm.
I just saw like one of the super chat that I thought was interesting from Ethan Roger 8298. I mean, y'all saw all of them getting pissed at Iron Mouse for being uncomfortable at being ambushed by rather invasion. So I'm gonna assume invasive questions by two asshole IRL streamers. They don't respect her now. Well, they never respected her to begin with. You're going off the false assumption that they had any respect
Yep.
for her or VTubing to begin with. They never did.
And
And
Yeah,
that's
also,
there was
why
we
that's
nothing.
important.
we
There's
will
nothing really
talk
for
about
her to
that.
lose. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like we will talk about that, and what's interesting because when I seen that clip, it's like I listened to that shit way too many times, but they weren't even assholes to begin with. They were fucking glazing her when they first approached her, saying that she's an icon or whatever else, and blah 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 blah.
They were
And
cloud chasing essentially.
yes, but
Yeah.
everyone does that. But like at first they were thinking of asking questions. Dude was like, okay, maybe we shouldn't. And then Iron Mouse says, "Oh, it's okay. You can ask me anything." Now, saying "ask
Yep.
me anything" to teenage boys, that the process of okay, VTubers, maybe we shouldn't ask this. No, they are asking the first things that comes to a teenage boy's mind. What do you look
Yeah.
like? What are
Yeah.
you?
Exactly.
And all that
What is
other
your
The
skin
shit.
color? What is the
what do you-
American's obsession
where
with skin
where are
color?
you come
Swear
from? Yeah.
to God.
Yeah,
Yeah.
where do you come from? Yeah. But the thing that it was quite funny about that was the she had the opportunity to just let the conversation die, but then she said, "Ask me anything." And like you said, the there was a bit where you said, they have no concept of what is acceptable to ask a VTuber or not, and it's kind of like, well, because later on when she talks about the thing, she acts offended over the fact that they asked a VTuber, "What do you look like?" as if they should have any concept that that is offensive. When in actuality, why would they think that's offensive if they have no idea what a VTuber is and they have no idea what VTubing culture is like? If you are going to interact with people or even invite people who have no knowledge of VTubing as a subculture, as a medium, as an industry, or even, dare I say it, a community, then no shit, Sherlock, you're going to encounter people who have no idea of etiquette or courtesy. That are, the ideas of etiquette or courtesy that are hyper specific to your content niche that you represent.
Yeah.
Essentially, this is like a smaller version of a culture shock.
Yeah, like this is what you're inviting in. Like, hello?
It's like it doesn't exactly help if like people are just like, "Oh, you don't ask a VTuber what they look like." When you have people trying to, one up XQC and it's like, "Oh, but we are hot actually. Look at my face. Look at my face, guys." It's like,
I
dude,
have a I have
I
a
was so
very
stupid.
I have a very frigid take for this entire thing. I
mhm,
think that if someone tries to attack VTubers on the basis of their IRL appearance, I think everyone agrees that's retarded, right?
yeah.
But
Yes.
I think that the people who try to defend VTubers on the basis of their IRL appearance are equally retarded. Because
Yeah.
Yes.
I think both sides deserve one another, honestly, of that equation. Because both of them are missing the point.
It's just like the double standards and the hypocrisy with VTubers is so fucking stupid because at one moment it's like, oh, but VTubers can face post whenever they want. Why are you trying to dictate what content they can post? But then suddenly it's like, against God by saying that, oh, Jaden Animations is this crocodile VTuber. So like, I'm sorry, it's one way or the other. Keep the kayfabe or you don't. Pick one. Can't have both.
Yeah.
It's not even that. It's more so, to me at least, it was more so the idea that when you become a VTuber, that medium has a very definitive utility. You don't have to show your face. You get to stream anonymously, and you don't give people an idea of what you are like as a person besides what you choose to show through your model and what you're like on stream. And the thing is, everyone who face posted in response to this XQC clip, not even XQC himself making a post, someone else taking a clip of him saying something and then posting that themselves. You're throwing away the main utility of the medium you've chosen to represent yourself with to win
Which is
an online
keeping
argument
anonymity.
Yeah.
via third person. Like, the
Yeah.
reason is just so frivolous that I have no other option open to me than to assume that you just don't give a shit about the medium, or you never did. Like, why would you do that?
Honestly, the
You
people
know,
who face post just filtered themselves by showing they aren't
yeah.
actually VTubers. They're just using this for funsies.
I actually talked about this where I was like, people shouldn't do it. I brought up a couple of reasons. I brought up that it was, a lot of people were looking maliciously at VTuber right now because of that drama. And essentially, you're kind of like putting a target on your back. You're like, yes, come, eat me. Look at my face. I am right there for you to go look up on a reverse image search. You're putting yourself in danger for what? A childish own. Like, you're being ridiculous right now.
Yeah.
I'm not anybody's dad. If the people want to face reveal, go ahead. But to try and owning the haters like this, it's foolish, risible, and potentially dangerous for yourself.
Yeah.
I also brought up a thing that I think not many people talk about because it's a bit of a meta discussion. But you know how people, especially people who are in the entertainment industry, compartmentalize who they are as a person and where they're in front of the camera when they perform. Now, everybody does this subconsciously to an extent. So I'm sure you two would understand what I mean when I say that. Generally, you're just the fact that the way you speak changes when you're live on stream. That's an example of compartmentalizing those two identities within yourself. But the issue is that if you start muddying those lines, well, you might face unforeseen consequences, whether that be on you personally putting yourself at risk and stuff, but also on your psyche, because you start muddying the line and mixing those two identities together. And once you do that, well, you start taking everything that's against your VTuber persona personally and vice versa. And that can create, very unhealthy habits and reaction. God damn it. Very unhealthy reactions to any form of criticism or whenever a problem arises. It can have terrible consequences if you start mixing the two.
Mm-hmm. Before we move on to the Rain Rakai thing and Iron Mouse, I will read some super chats because they're building quickly. Give me a moment.
Can you also show the moment I ratioed XQC? I really wanted to talk about it because it's too funny.
On the what?
When I ratioed XQC, I had such a terrible day when I made that post that seeing this happen really saved that day. That was so funny.
Send me the link for that and I'll bring it up.
It's in the drive. I'm pretty sure. It's
All
at
right.
the end, I think.
I have to visit a blacksmith.
Oh yeah. Azan replied to XQC saying,
You
"No,
got
I swear, guys,
community
it's pure
noted.
fiction. We don't whine." But also, look at me whine again about this. 13.6k likes to 3.5k.
I felt good, man. And you
It,
got community noted too. Oh, that felt good.
it's always fun ratioing
Uh,
people that you don't like.
yes.
And he didn't even have to post a picture of his face
I
to
mean,
do that.
Yeah.
Imagine.
I don't even hate XQC. You know, I respect the hustle and the grind and all that, but you're a multi-millionaire, dude. Like 100k, that's cheap change to you. Why are you getting so upset and uppity about this? Like, this is clearly incredibly insecure. Your ego got bruised, so now you must hate all VTuber because one VTuber bruised your ego one time. This
Yeah.
is so silly. Dude loses millions on lottery slots, and you think he can like talk shit about VTuber? Nah, get out of here. I respect the grind, I respect the hustle, but you're such an insecure fool. You're a clown. Dare I say you're in the entire circus? You're a circus monkey. Go back to being a circus monkey and getting mocked by your chat. Come on. At least make the content funny.
Yeah. I'm seeing people in the chat bring this up as well, but the thing is, XQC's beef with VTubers is not even like a very recent thing. Everyone, including me, usually brings up Doki because that was the most recent the Marvel Twitch Rivals tournament thing that they did earlier on this year. But there was also a previous Twitch Rivals event that revolved around Elden Ring, where he was part of a team that lost to a combination of two other VTubers, Girl DM and Only Waifu. So this guy he's 0-2 versus VTubers in competitive Twitch events.
Mm-hmm.
Dare I remind you, he's an ex-Overwatch pro player, and he was a pretty good one at his time. He was the best Winston in like all of North America for what that was worth at the time, which was worth a decent amount. He was a good player at that time. So obviously his ego would get bruised if he lost competitively to funny anime girls, especially when you consider that he's not the biggest fan of anime either.
Get through some of these chats real quick. Kraken, thank you for Kraken. You need to start typing in English, not numbers, please.
Does he believe in the Omnissiah?
He does. I always forget how to say your name, so you are now Mara. Remember Lum Lum Movie Night 300, my history autism demands so, Witcher and Phoenix Point. Demonstrous, maybe one day I'll make Zan his own VTuber model. Hell yeah, you have to make sure he has the stereotypical French mustache.
Oh no.
The Forbidden One, hello Lum Lum. Chat, Lumi needs less than 320 subscribers away from 10k, at which point she will do a baking stream to celebrate. She'll be making her famous Lumi cookies. No, I'm not. Minus the key ingredient, which I had to negotiate for with feet pics. No, you didn't. To prove it, she will even use a
What are the
hand camera
famous
setup. Dawn
Lumi
of War
cookies?
3. They are fake made up cookies. That
Okay.
chat.
They're made
Kraken.
with Lumi's feet, guys. You should
No, they're not.
insist. Ask for the cookies.
Boog, will Hassan's VTuber come with a personality? Probably not. It'll come with Kaya's streamer pet, and it'll shock her every time he gets a donation, though. Dusrat Lumlum, and my suffering, my video editor is crashing and making me want to end it. Have my last super for the year before our currency is X'd by the. I'm guessing that is a euro. The malcontent VTuber requires a personality. Yes. Boog, address him as Gunnar Lord Dan Diddler Clancy. Forbidden One, his
Not gonna
son's
say that.
VTuber
That's a
model
good nickname for him.
son's VTuber model should be a dog being shocked. Megas the Red, thank you for being a member of Arch for 4 months. Hello, Lumi. I see you and Mal finally broke Arch. Keep it up and come on, lads. Let's get Dawn of War 3 and Milking Farm funds funded. Get Savvy for next time. I will talk to Savvy to see if we can get her roped in. Shadow Fox. Lum Lum, you can't keep throwing Barch in the basement so you can seal a show. Dawn of War 3 next Milking Farm. He voluntarily went into the basement. I threw down some pastries, so he'll be gnawing on those for at least 4 hours. Mark, so we can agree that humans in general are into some weird stuff. It's just that men tend to keep their weird stuff private. I don't know about that, my dude. People seem to equally show their freak when they really want to. I have seen some freaky ass women, I've seen some freaky ass men. Draken, more numbers. Milking Farm. Marina, is Barch ever being released from his Norwegian prison cell, or did you inherit his channel from his last will and testament? I'm still trying to force him to put my name on his will. Because it's not like he has any kids or a girlfriend, so next best thing, fish on the internet. Alex Adamson, in my personal opinion, who cares? Internet popularity contests are cringe. So anyway, how goes the World War II learning? I expect you to know German doctrine inside and out by the end of the year. Still working on the German doctrine, and I'm trying to learn some very basic phrases in German for the vampire campaign. So that'll be fun. Master N, the proper term is midwit, above average intelligence, not a genius, but obsessed with making others think they're a genius via optics and pedantry. No. Boog, Blue Archive bans are gatekeeping gods, as they should be. Blonde the Lich, thank you for being a member of Arch for 35 months, Jesus Christ. Connor should pull his buddy Electric Dog into VTubing and show he has no personality like his bestie Gundam's future ex-wife. Yeah, no, Pokemon was rightfully bullied away from VTubing. Should stay like that. Marina, LO didn't see the armchair hiding in Lumi's bust. OG Pixelist? Yes, I am Pixelist. Boog, VTuber, PNG tuber, Kick streamer, Twitch streamer, E-thought YouTuber. Honestly, I don't care about the terms at the end of the day. You're all e-beggars in my eyes. Now dance monkeys, entertain me.
You know,
Yeah,
he's not even wrong.
I know he's not
We're all
wrong.
just monkeys.
I mean, they enjoy shocking me for their entertainment. And before you guys ask, no, the shot garter is not on because I can't link my shot garter to Arch's channel because he won't give me his
Alright, would have been
passwords.
funny.
That would have been non-stop shocking. Insane Linguist, Mouse wants to enter that LA streamer clique at all costs. She's either too naive or too dumb to realize they'll never respect her. I think she knows, but she'll just keep coping with, oh, this is just fun and games.
Here's the thing. When you're insecure, even if the truth is shoved in front of your safe, you will find refuge in your own insecurities.
Yep. And also, don't forget, she has her totally not boyfriend Connor to defend her now. Ethan Rogers.
Like, I'm not gonna blame Connor for just sitting there when that happened, but not gonna lie, because like in that situation, I doubt anyone would have
It was
done
pretty
any better
funny
because
to
it's shocking. But at the same time, I can't. When I saw that clip, I had like the Oblivion music and the Oblivion NPC talking, and I'm like, that's literally what happened, though. Like I
The
don't
funniest
write up
thing is
Connor
when
for
the
that, but
camera
that's
pans
literally
to the
that.
side. Yeah. It
Yes,
pans to
and
the
you
side
see,
slightly, and you
him
can
making
see
a
him just like
face.
standing there and like smiling awkwardly.
Like this is literally straight out of Oblivion. This is hilarious.
Ethan Rogers, I think we already read that. I mean, y'all saw them get pissed at Iron Mouse for being uncomfortable, being ambushed. Let's see. Mangus the Red, I agree with Arch. Gatekeep the weirdos from infesting our space. If they want to come in, they must follow the rules and don't change anything. Dawn of War 3 fund. Insane Linguist, is XQC still mulling over losing to a girl in a video game? You know, he's focusing on the avatar because the actual reason would get him cancelled. Asinine donating to the Latino Repellent Fund. Draken, stop it! I don't speak the number language. And Wolfen Barch, thank you for becoming a bridge god worshiper. I'm sure Arch is very happy about it.
By the way,
Alright.
to anyone who wants to take it, there is a hit tweet that has yet to be made of putting the Oblivion music over that interaction. I swear, someone do it, please. That's a hit tweet in the making. Like, I'm giving this for free, guys. Come on, do it.
Eventually, if a similar event ends up happening at some point in the future, which I'm sure it will, I'm quite certain that someone will end up making that edit.
Oh, for sure. You know what? I'm not gonna play Tectone's video because I don't feel like it. So I'll just read from the transcript on the side. But essentially, Tectone made a 15.5-minute video talking about Iron Mouse being confronted by Ray and Rakai, with them being two idiotic teenagers. And yes, they are
Should we show the clip of her talking to them?
Let's see. I have it somewhere.
Do we really have to watch Tectone?
We're not watching his video. I'm
We're not-
reading
we're
the
not.
transcript.
Good.
Hold on, I'll find the clip real quick. Ray Rakai. It's like it was such a short interaction too. Like
Yeah.
what, 30 seconds?
By the way,
and then
remember
it was-
to turn down the audio because they're just yelling throughout the entirety of it.
Yeah. Ugh, I'm gonna have to use
As normal
XQC's
people
clip, aren't
definitely
I?
do.
He just play the whole thing off the bat and then. Okay, I think he does play it all the way through without commenting. Oh. No, we'll use XQC's clip because no one else has a non-edited version of this for some reason. And I don't feel like going through Twitter. Unmute.
I can grab it.
Okay.
So
Oh, it was a little over a minute in her.
Yep, I just dropped it in live links.
Okay. Copy link. Oh, please. Alright, there you go. Alright. Yeah, let me know if this is too loud or not, and I will adjust as needed. But we'll watch this all the way through, and then we will yap.
Oh, wait.
Oh shit,
Where
where'd
you
it go?
at?
There it is.
I'm in my house.
Oh, okay. Iron Mouse, you are a legend.
Yo!
Haha.
Thank you.
What's up?
What's up?
Wait, quick question. Neymar, I don't feel me.
Yeah,
Neymar,
no questions out of you today.
Yeah.
Let's see. He was gonna ask a question, then he was like, nah, never mind, I won't ask a question. So at least he originally was not going to ask.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, bet.
There was the opportunity to end the conversation right there.
Yep. And
But
then
it's pretty funny how, ironically, Rai might have been the only one who I can give decorum to for
Yeah.
some of the ways he handled some of that situation, the fallout of it. And I say some decorum, not he's right, guys. You know,
Yeah,
there's a
and it-
difference between the two.
and it's like Iron Mouse is a little hard to hear because she is like on the other side of the camera, but she says you can ask anything you
Yeah.
You can ask me anything you want.
Okay, bet.
Okay, I got a question.
How you look in real life?
Whoa. That
I don't look
everything?
in real life.
Yeah.
Oh, ugly. That's why I'm a VTuber, duh.
Ah, you're right.
Then she answers with ugly. That's why I'm a VTuber. So she jokes with them and everything like that. It's like
The funniest thing is that's not even a joke that they would get, because that's
Yeah.
a joke that requires you to assume that they know that that is a meme that outsiders to the VTubing sphere use at the expense of VTubers. But they're just going to take that at face value because they don't know any better.
Yep. And again, these it's like, yes, I think they're what, 17, 16, 17 years old, but they're still stupid
Makai is
teenage
17,
boys.
yeah.
They are teenage boys still having to learn about the world and how to interact with other larger streamers, especially VTubers. Because I don't think it's like this is me not knowing anything about them, but I don't think they've actually had a real job in their entire lives.
Mentally,
So-
they're likely going to be a little handicapped because of the fact that they've been streaming for the last few years as their quote-unquote career. That's going to mess up any kid's development.
Yeah. Let us
You
finish up.
know, as I would say, they haven't even learned to wipe their own asses yet.
I see people in chat saying that they're brown teenage boys. I don't know.
I mean,
that's a
prove me wrong.
that's a pretty interesting Asian there. I don't think he's. Oh well, let's finish the clip and then
He's Cantonese.
still Asian. Let's finish this up and then we will yap more about it.
Are you black or white?
I'm Latino. I'm Puerto Rican.
Whoa! Is Peanut technically a VTuber or not?
Am I technically a
No,
VTuber?
Peanut.
Oh, man, he's a fucking VTuber. What the fuck?
Oh, okay.
It's the pandering to IRL streamers for me. Just
Yep.
ugh.
You know, we're gonna be a broken record about it, but god
Yes.
damn it, is this Rakai guy such an insufferable?
I
He's an
hate everybody in this
insufferable
clip. I hate
Like,
everybody in this clip,
his
man.
mother hasn't even given him enough chancla for him to know how to behave properly in public.
I mean, forget the chunkler. His mother just needs to disconnect the internet
Yeah.
in his house.
It's just like as soon as they're done talking with her, it's like I think they have their chat up on their phones. They're just looking straight at their chat.
Yeah. They're just
They're
looking
seeking
to see how people
validation
are
from their
reacting to what they
chat.
just
Yeah.
did.
Yep.
You know, I'm gonna bring it up later, but funnily enough, FaZe Banks actually said something very very on point on this, where these kind of streamer say shit and then they look at their chat, and depending on how their chat is reacting, they will do a 180 or keep the
Yeah.
attitude.
Yep.
Like, if they're posting L, then they'll do a 180. If they're like, yeah, W, you go, then they will just keep going harder and harder. You know,
Yep.
it's. I don't even know if there's a word in the English language to describe such low IQ behavior.
Oh, that's easy.
It's like
Pitiful.
you're just listening to a crowd and doing what they say, and as if you're an extension of the lowest common denominator of the attitude of all these people. And to an extent, even good people will encourage other people to do terrible things because they know they won't face the consequences of doing terrible things. If that makes sense. Am I making sense?
Yeah, you're making sense.
So yeah, so because they don't get to have any of the consequences of the bad action that the streamer make, well, they're going to keep encouraging them.
Yep. And
Because again, dancing monkeys, it's all a show to them.
it is the first Iron Mouse VOD that you sent me. For
Yeah,
her
so-
first initial reaction.
The thing that was really interesting to me about this was looking at the way that IMOuse describes this interaction after it happened. So this is a stream that she did on the 7th. So basically, I think it was within the day from when the Streamer Awards happened. So this is the first time that she ends up describing it. She only does it for like a minute or so.
We will Have to Alright. That is for about a minute.
Yeah. I did not know. I did not know that they were streaming. I didn't know that they were streaming, and then I go on Twitter and
Okay, that was your first mistake. It's people at a streamer awards. You need to assume that
Yeah.
they're already streaming as soon as they walk into the building, or even before
Yeah, but-
that.
That's one of the things that I want to sort of like put a sticker on. The fact that she says, I didn't know they were streaming the first time that she describes this interaction.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt, but apparently I sound a bit botty. Do I sound better now?
Sound about the same. It's like you don't sound bad. You sound fine.
Okay.
You
That's
you
weird.
weren't having your Daft Punk moment like you were earlier.
Yeah.
Let's this.
I see the clip and I'm like, oh, oops. I'm like, whoops. I hope I didn't say anything too weird.
At least we got to see the face reveal of all of Hollow Live. Who
They
would have
asked
guessed
me-
they were
they
all
asked
the
me the
same
truth.
dude from New Zealand?
They
What a
asked
time
me.
to be alive.
What a time, that's true. What a time to be alive.
So first
They asked
thought
me
is,
and I
you
told
know,
them
I
the
hope
truth.
I didn't say anything weird. Again, you can't say that and be mad that people assume you're trying to play nice with these people.
Mhm.
There's no other logical assumption if you phrase your foremost concern with that interaction in that manner.
It's like honestly, this should have been her only response to it because it's like it's hand waving off the interaction. Her second response to this made everyone just kind of cock an eyebrow. It's like the fuck you mean?
Not even that. When it comes the fascinating thing about the way that she describes it, I think it's going to become more obvious once we show what the difference compared with this instance where she describes it for the first time to her audience versus the second time that everyone clipped. Because the thing is, everyone who dogpiled on her from the normie streamer audience dogpiled her for the second clip, and all the
Yeah.
people who were defending her also only clipped only clipped from the second time that she talked about the interaction. To my knowledge, no one from within the VTubing sphere who has been trying to argue that iMouse is some sort of bereaved victim has clipped this section of
Yeah.
the first time where she talked about the interaction.
It's like she's, I don't know why she reacted that way, but I'm pretty, my personal
have a
rat,
suspicion.
personal suspicion as well, is that, she tried to make it sound like she essentially on the first clip tried to appeal to like that LA scene and those flash streamer again by turning this into like some sort of normal interaction and stuff. And when she, saw the tides changing and she started considering how this made her look, she decided to, basically do a 180. Basically, she actually did what the people like Rakai and stuff tend to do, where they listen to instant feedback and decide to do 180.
Yeah.
No, she just did the classic female VTuber move. Man, how can I make myself a victim in this situation?
True.
It's like all of us have been looking at too many goddamn Google Docs that have been coming out all year. It's like this is just the default thing of man. It's just professional victimhood. Not even Iron Mouse is immune to it.
I mean, dare I say, Iron Mouse is in prime position to believe in that sort of mindset.
Yeah. Let us continue this clip. We got about 50 seconds left for it.
I told them the truth, guys. I told them the reason why I'm a VTuber is because I'm ugly. And that's why I'm a VTuber, because I'm really ugly. They asked me what I look like, and I said, guys, I'm a VTuber because I'm really ugly. Like, oh.
You can tell by the way that she's relaying this to her chat that she kind of used a joke that would work with friend group A with friend group
Don't
B
say that
instead.
about yourself.
Yeah.
Me when I lie? What the fuck? Where's the lie at? Where's the lie at? Where's the lie at?
But yeah, that's just basically that little bit. She's you know,
And
she's
then from there, she
she's
moves
trying
on
to
to
play
something
into
else.
it,
Yeah.
and then she just
Yeah.
moves on to everything else. Then we got
You know, when I
her second stream.
when I started thinking about it and theorizing it a bit, I jokingly said that maybe Iron Mouse has a humiliation fetish, and I'm kind of curious what you guys think about this idea. I don't know. I said that as a joke, like,
I don't think so. I think she's just very naive.
yeah. I mean,
Best
I mean,
case scenario. Though
some
I
point,
after
how
this thing, I
much,
don't
how
know.
much
I think
naivety,
she's yeah.
how
I
much
think she's more
naivety can you
cynical than most
tolerate?
people give credit for.
Because
But
like
that I
you
think
can't
it
be naive for
becomes
so long.
yeah, it becomes clearer once we show the second clip. So this is the second clip comes from a stream that she did about 3 or 4 days after this one, where she's describing the same interaction, but this time she goes on about it for a lot longer, and it sounds very, very different from the first time she described it.
Yeah. And don't worry, chat. We will be pausing and commenting in between because this clip is like 20 minutes long. So don't worry, we won't just let it play out. We're not chair streamer. Well, we have one chair streamer, but you know, semantics.
But I also saw a tweet about me talking to Rakai and Ray. And a lot of people were saying that I'm basically trying to appeal to people, appease people, fit in with people, that I'm trying to, I'm bending over backwards for people, which that is so untrue. You don't have.
No, you're bending over backwards for the wrong types of people. It's like, you know that meme of the soldier where he's just like, you know, T-posing in front of a child, blocking all the ammunition and stuff? It's the exact same thing, but all the ammunition is just hitting all the VTubers. That is essentially what Iron Mouse has been doing during that whole situation. Don't worry, I'll protect you. But then the VTuber community is just getting hit with everything.
Have no idea. You have no idea what I went through in that moment. So let me explain to you. I'm trying to be nice. I'm trying to be nice to everybody, and I'm trying to be respectful to everyone. Even if somebody doesn't respect me, I will try my best to be respectful to them, because I'm just not the type of person to be like, oh, they disrespected me. Let me disrespect them right back. I was very much aware that I was on camera. I was very much aware that they were streaming. Okay.
All right, chat. Now, what is the difference between this that second part that was just said and the first stream? Yes, we're playing a little bit of Dora here. What's the difference, guys? Is it A, she changed her mind? B, she was genuine and she's like, oh well, you know, I really thought they weren't streaming, but then I thought, oh yeah, we're at a streamer awards. Of course they were streaming, so I knew the whole time. Or C, yeah, no, she's just a fucking liar. Collective amnesia.
Again, no one
duh.
seems to have picked up on that, which I find to be so strange.
Oh my god. Stop always lying.
Yeah, I find this so strange that no one seems to have picked up on this, which, I mean, the only conclusions open to me are either that people didn't bother to watch her VODs where she first talked about it, or
Which
they
is very
saw that
likely.
and they didn't think to, okay, maybe maybe that's a little weird. Maybe that's a bit of context that people should know about.
Yes, all of you that chose C, You are correct. Jay's a fucking liar. And also, no, you don't get to lobotomize yourself with a 45. You're not allowed to do that.
Okay? And I'm here with Rob, and we're walking, getting ready to go to our seats, and I get rushed by Rakai and Ray. I will tell you 100%, I was very uncomfortable to the point where I was shaking because I already knew that I was going to get asked something terrible. I knew.
Now, guys, let's think back to the original clip. She did not get rushed, and I don't know what the Asian boy's name is. That one's Ray, right? I think.
Yeah.
Okay. And Ray, originally he was just gonna straight up ask a question, but then he was like, nah, never mind. Then Mouse, you said yourself, and it was a little hard to hear because the microphone wasn't facing you, but you said, no, go ahead, ask me anything. So, no, again, that's all you, that was all you. That was all you. Girl's lying through her teeth. I mean, she has to save face somehow as the absolute darling of VTubing. Yeah.
That they were gonna say something rude to me, because I just know, I know it, because I'm used to it, because I already know what people think, and I already know how people treat VTubers. I'm aware. However, I've been in this game for multiple years, and I've been doing this for a long time. And when a person asks me a stupid question, I give them a stupid answer. That's what I have to say. They asked me what I look like, so I gave them the dumbest answer that I could give them. I was incredibly uncomfortable. I wanted to get out of there. I did not want to talk to them because I knew they were going to ask me very invasive questions. They asked me the dumbest question, so I gave them the dumbest answer. And I was trying to be cordial. I was trying to be nice.
Now that it's like if I was in her position, that this is one way to get out of that situation in a very cordial way and not being an asshole. Hey, I'm sorry, the awards are starting soon. I would like to get to my seat. It was nice meeting you. Now, if you excuse me, and then you walk away, or well, you get carried away. Still.
The other thing, yeah, that's the thing that makes me a little bit. It makes me a little a little incredulous when people try to argue, oh, but you know, how would you have shut down in that interaction? I don't have two able-bodied men behind me who could do the equivalent of carry me away from the interaction at a moment's notice. Like
Yes.
when people bring up the fact that she's talking to Ray and Rakai via iPad, that is a valid point to bring up when you're considering how much agency she had in choosing when the interaction stops.
And it's like, I know this
We're
sounds...
not talking about an assault here. We're talking about,
Yeah.
you know, a conversation, a very admittedly brain-melting conversation, but it's still a conversation nonetheless.
And it's like, I know this sounds cringe as hell, but this loops back to the whole thing where I forgot who originally said this, but if people are bothering you on the internet, you turn it off. She could pull a fucking, I forgot his name, but the one who faked his stream crash, fake VTube studio crashing. There you go. That's a pretty reasonable thing to be like, oh shit, it crashed, because the internet probably sucks in there anyway. Especially with everyone who's streaming in that general area. So there's multiple ways out of that conversation. I know. It's just weird that she lie about it 3 days later.
You know, just watching this, I'm just like, I saw some mud crab by the water recently. I stood clear of them. I am sure there's like 5 people who will understand that reference.
Like disconnecting your Ethernet cable when you're about to lose a match? Exactly. Can't think that far, Lum Lum. You know what? Fair. Alright, let us continue.
I was trying to be nice and respectful, knowing that they were on a stream. It wasn't me trying to appease anybody. It was just me answering in a stupid fashion to get them to leave me alone. So they asked me what I look like. So I said, of course, I'm ugly. That's why I'm a VTuber. And people thought that I was joking around and I was having a great time. I did not have a great time. After that exchange and we left, I was visibly shaken, and I was with Rob, and I had multiple people come up to me and be like, wow, Mouse, you handled that so well. You handled that so well, Mouse. And I was just like, thanks. I appreciate it. So to see people just like twist that around into like,
But whenever I hear this part of the clip, it reminds me of the female VTubers
And everyone clapped.
It reminds me of the female VTubers that falsely accuse somebody of something, and they're like, "Oh, you're so brave for coming out and saying that." Oh, it was like, "Oh, you are so strong.
Stunning
I'm
and
so
brave,
proud of
yeah.
you." Oh man, it's just I don't know. Whenever I hear, "Oh, they said that I did such a good job," it makes my spine turn into dust just a little bit. Just
Yeah.
oh, it's just so. And don't forget, everybody, this woman is like 30 years old. You don't need to handle her with kitty gloves. It's like, yes, she may be trapped in her room, but she's like 30 years old. She is an adult woman. You don't need to treat her like she is a toddler on the internet. And
Not
it's
to
like,
bring old
go ahead.
stuff back up, but I'm fairly certain I remember Matara when she left Vishojo bearing as much as her NDA allowed her to be outspoken about Vishojo, and Mouse was weirdly dismissive. That's
Yeah.
that's funny.
And
Now, I don't know how much she self gaslights, but
Mhm.
like at some point you kind of have to face reality. And I feel like she's embraced the Iron Mouse is Shinji. She's embraced the escapism pill, and she's unable to face reality and how real human connections work.
Yeah.
There you go. That's a clippable moment right there. Iron Mouse is Shinji. Is Shinji. Shinji. Damn it.
But it's like, I would go into other rats or bring up her old interview, but that is like, if you want to find her old interview, you can dig around on Twitter. People brought it back up, but no, it's like she is a grown woman. She has been through a lot more than everyone likes to think that she's been through. It's just been buried onto old internet forums over the years because V Shoujo wanted all that shit gone. But just like she's not a kid. She is not mentally handicapped. She's not one of those people who need to wear a helmet and mittens to keep from hurting herself. She is a grown fucking woman. Treat her like it. She doesn't need a hug box. She doesn't need constant affirmations on like, "Oh, you're doing such a good job. Yes, you are the best oxygen breather in the room." No, she doesn't need that. I don't know.
Do I sound slightly better now, chat? Because I saw some of you mention I still sound like a robot, apparently.
I think
Well, it's funny.
It's
Can
still
you
on.
actually...
I think it might be something that's inbuilt with your system.
God damn it.
I think it's just the French internet getting to you.
Yeah.
Really? Damn.
But there is a little bit more to. Well, yeah, a bit more to this, and people who are just like, why are we still sitting on Iron Mouse? It's because this is about her. This entire situation revolves around her. So, unfortunately, we're gonna watch more of her. Then we'll look at a bit of Tectone, a little bit of Connor, and we'll yap some more. Then, yeah, let's continue.
Like, into like, oh my god, she's rolling over to get to have people like her and stuff. It's like you have no idea what I went through, and I wasn't gonna talk about it or say anything, but I just wanted to make it clear that like I am faced with a lot of uncomfortable moments. I get disrespected a lot on stream, off stream, and I know how to handle myself. Okay? When a person asks me something stupid, I give them a stupid answer. It's just how I am. At the end of the day, I'm so used to people making fun of me that I just don't care anymore. I don't care if people are mean to me. I don't care if people make fun of me. I'm gonna continue to be positive and as respectful as I can. And that's just the type of person that I am. I can't. It would have been.
It really is funny how much of her recontextualization of this is just, sorry guys, I was too nice, right? I was too nice to them. I can't help myself. I'm just that kind of person.
It's like she can easily just keep ignoring it. Just she already addressed this in her first stream. She doesn't need to say anything more about it. But
Yeah.
the good old attention money, the good Twitter payout money that she probably gets. So just
I don't even think it's that though. It again, like you said, she could have just not commented on it any further after the first time she brought it up. But the fact that she went back and then revised the way that she described this interaction is the thing that grabbed my attention.
yeah. It's like I don't know. I think it's getting to the point where it's like words, please come to my mouth. Anyways, it's like she gets a lot of attention, but she gets the most attention now since she is out of shoujo, out of drama. She is now just a regular VTuber woman. Gets the most amount of attention via drama, or her victim card. Be like, here you go, it's my turn now. And also, if anyone has to say that they're too nice, they're probably the worst person in existence. But that's just me.
Extremely rude of me to throw a tantrum or get upset in the moment. Not just rude of me, but it also reflects poorly upon me. And I'm an adult, man. I'm not a kid. I'm not a kid. I know when somebody's treating me like shit. But I don't know.
I don't think she knows when people are treating her like shit. It's like, I think she was told multiple times, hey, these people are treating you like shit, and then she's starting to say something. But I think she just picked the easier targets to make into, the villains of her story in that week.
I mean, it's that or go after the entire awards show, and we all know why she's not going to do that.
Oh yeah, she still needs to have a shot of winning Best VTuber next year. Unless Peanut wins again.
It would be really funny. It would be really funny.
I don't know, at this point I'm kind of rooting for Kenji to win. I don't watch his content. I don't like Kenji, but I think I'd rather him win.
I think I've gone through a lot where it's like I keep a level head and I just say what I gotta say and I get out. You know what I mean? I say what I gotta say, and I get out. And I know now,
A
like, me
bold-faced
saying
lie.
this is gonna get cooked,
Yep.
and people are gonna say stuff like that, you know.
Let's say, to be
They're gonna know
charitable,
that I wasn't.
let's say that when she said to them, "Ask me anything," she was hoping that maybe let's say that she only made the assessment that they were being dumbasses after she said, "Ask me anything," and immediately when they took her at her word, she got a bit of buyer's remorse, so to speak, when it comes to giving them that license. So let's assume that that's the case. That you say, ask me anything." They take you at your word. They ask you something that you think is stupid. You don't have to. It's not a binary between throw a tantrum and humor them. You can just say, "Okay, sorry, I take it back. I don't feel comfortable answering this question." Or even, if they ask why are you a VTuber, I would assume that if you want to try and interact with people to show people what VTubing is about, part of that is defining what the boundaries of VTubing are about as well. Going like, okay, well, that's not really relevant to why I do things, or that's not really something that I feel like talking about because I'm a VTuber. If that doesn't satisfy you, well, sorry, but that's just how it is. And then talking to whoever's holding your iPad to take you somewhere else.
I think the real issue is that saying I'm not gonna throw a tantrum is a huge cop out, because like there's a million way you could react outside of
Yeah.
just throwing a tantrum. You're being disingenuous. You could have acted, I don't know, offended. You could have been acted coy. You could have acted like you said, "Get me away from this place." You could have returned the question back at them. Like there was a
Yeah.
million way you could have answered, and you literally chose the one that puts you in a precarious position.
Yeah.
Eh.
I'm a VTuber because I'm ugly, guys. And again, that's not a joke that they're going to get. They're going to take you at your word and go, "Oh, okay, she must be a VTuber because she's ugly."
They're
Eh,
gonna take it at face value because they don't know VTubing.
yeah. And it's like, because I used to co-host bi-weekly on another podcast with some IRL streamers. And it's like, they're not VTuber watchers. Most of their audience do not watch VTubers. But I still just shoot the shit with them. I don't get offended if people ask like something stupid. I play along. We all joke with each other. And now a fair few of them are now viewers of my channel and are active in my little community. Like, it's funny because most of the people who watch me or in my Discord, they don't watch VTubers. A lot of them, I'm their first VTuber that they watched, and I'm like, okay, one, I'm sorry, but two, it's just like, I think I would. It's like, I think I would rather slowly build up that own little unique community of mine rather than pandering to people who are just like, absolutely fucking insane.
Yeah. And to me, it's just the dissonance between, okay, you want to introduce the medium to people who aren't already familiar with it. What do you expect they're going to start off with? You
Yeah.
think they're going to be respectful of your specific codes of etiquette and courtesy? No. You don't know what a VTuber is. You see someone who streams while using an online avatar that does not look like a person, a real life person at all, when you account for all the stylistic features and all of that stuff. And what are they going to ask? Why don't you show your face? Factor in that they're, young and dumb as well, then it's pretty much inevitable that they're going to be leading with that.
Yeah, it's like I was asked once, like, oh, why am I a VTuber instead of just like a regular streamer? And I just flat out said, "'Cause I hate myself." And that's a good way to go with.
If someone asks you why, what do you look like IRL, you don't feel like answering the question, you can just say, "See, that's why I use a VTuber model," or something along those lines. Again, it's not some binary between, throw a tantrum or just, make a self-deprecating joke that they're not going to get.
Yeah. And plus, it's like, I like being a cute fish on the internet. Like, Lumi's been a character of mine since like 2018, and then I made her into my VTuber model. So yeah, I just like being a cute little fish on the internet. She's great.
uncomfortable. I was uncomfortable, and you know, I was uncomfortable. That question made me uncomfortable. I've met other people that have had. I've met all sorts of people. People who have positive views on VTubers, negative views on people. People who don't understand VTubers, and I've met so many people that did not understand what VTubers were, and then when they met me, they came around. So I've had people that didn't understand VTubers and said nasty things, and then proceeded to be kind to me. You know?
There's a difference
I
between being
think
kind to you specifically and then looking at like other VTubers that get into the very
I
niche things like
I think Mouse
lollytubers.
is
And they're,
forgetting how
yeah,
Twitch works. They're being nice to you because they're cloud chasing,
yes.
not because they actually like VTuber, not because they actually like
Yeah.
you. They like your clout. They want you to suck off your audience from you, essentially, or they
Yeah.
want to appear like they're the better person. They're using you, and you're fine with that. Open your eyes.
It's like, honestly, I think the only thing that she is probably ignorant on is that she probably doesn't want to see the people around her using her as a stepping stone. But essentially, that is unfortunately what she is to a lot of people. It's just
No,
a
not that
stepping
it
stone to something better.
not that it doesn't exist on YouTube, but it is especially prevalent in Twitch culture to like you will lose opportunity if you don't suck up to people with more clout than you. And a
Yeah.
lot of it is like a lot of people who have gotten famous recently for like the past 3, 4, 5 years have gotten off the back of other more famous people. Like you
Yeah.
look at like Kai Cenat, how many people around him did he bring up by just having them on his stream?
Yeah.
Essentially, it's a bunch of people cloud chasing each other, and
Yeah,
I,
and
I f- and you
I
know,
don't
to
think you
people
really
to
need that qualifier of saying that this isn't a thing that this still happens on YouTube, but with Twitch it's worse. But because with Twitch there is a platform specific reason why it works that way. On
yeah,
YouTube you can make content a bunch of different ways: shorts, long form video, short form video, streams, etc., etc., etc. On Twitch you only have one of those, which is basically just streams. When you only have
I mean,
one way of making
the
content on a platform, it becomes a lot more incestuous because there's no other alternative ways to branch out. It's just the meta is just quickest easiest way to gain an audience and grow that quickly is to just go off of other people who already have that same audience who share your same format.
Yeah.
you know, it's funny because now I'm thinking about two things. One, hey, it's funny. Didn't they try to combat that with like shorts slash stories? Remember the reveal of that, and then Clancy looking at all those bikini babes?
It's
Oh yeah, I remember that. But
Yeah.
you know, it's funny also because I remember, wasn't it like a year ago where they essentially killed VODs because like you
yeah,
can barely like host your latest VOD anymore on Twitch?
yeah. They
Like
announced
you
that they were
Yep.
know,
getting rid of all of the
it's like
VODs.
it's actively like pushing. There's only one way of like engaging and creating content.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you only have the option of streaming. You can't do anything
You know,
else.
to people like Rakai and Ray who were literally babied by bigger IRL streamer, they understand the game. They might not understand it like consciously, but subconsciously they've grown in that environment, so they understand it. Iron Mouse lives in a bubble. She doesn't understand how that whole cloud chasing IRL circle jerk is going on. Or at least she's unwilling to try and understand. Maybe
Yeah.
she doesn't want to understand. Whichever one do you think is more appropriate
I think she does.
for her?
I think she does.
Uh,
And again, the reason why I think she does is because of this particular interaction here.
yeah. Let me read a few more super chats since I think they're still on topic, and then we will continue on with the Father Jack the Enlightened. Draken speaks in numbers, Lumi. The numbers Mason. What do they mean? Magma Fox, Trend Jumper, and the guard dog of VTubing only spoke up against the mouse after everyone else started to. Yeah. Mercenary X21, hey Lumlum, how are you and your headmate doing today? Are you arguing with her over the difference of gore? Also, thank you for showcasing Coco. She likes so many of my hobbies. I miss her. War Turkify. So these types of young streamers are conditioned to be puppets during the most formative years of their life. Yes. Yes, they are. And then they wonder, man, what do you mean I can't stream these crimes and not get arrested? Oh, man. Mercenary X21, this whole Iron Mouse thing is giant car crash with XQC. That was the guy who was bothering her, right? I wonder about Mouse's awareness levels. A lot of people were messing with Iron Mouse. Her awareness levels, probably not her best stat. Frog Jupiter, Mexican fish talking about a Puerto Rican mouse. The very natural blood beef there is very real. Bernard, feet for the feet fish. Raining Terror. Why is Iron Doormat the queen of VTubers? Okay, that one's new. I'm stealing that. I didn't know she existed until this year. Insane Linguist. I give it 6 months tops before she becomes a full-on Hassan orbiter. I think she already is privately, and only talks about him a little bit publicly. Mercenary. Technically, my first was Gargura and the Tea Kettle. Vanguard, women say dumb shit all the time. They lie all the time as well. The only surprising thing on this issue is why people care about this. This bridges into gatekeeping of VTubing and stuff like that. And it's also kind of hard to ignore Iron Mouse when she is one of the largest VTubers on the scene. And also actively trying to sabotage VTubing as a whole. Draken, more numbers. Mercenary, no wait, I think my first ever VTuber and AI tuber before Narosama was Max Headroom. I'm not joking, think about it, folks. Fun fact about Max Headroom, the people who created it did not want the actor or anyone on the production staff to claim credits to sell he was an AI. Oh, interesting. Alright. What the fuck is this cringe-ass clickbaity VTuber stuff? Well, today is the Lumicast. It is my show since Arch is lazy. They also locked him in his basement, so that's okay. Alright, let's continue.
You just don't know what type of response you're gonna get. But the least you can do is give a person a chance, you know? I don't know. It's just me. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm not telling people how to behave towards others. I don't expect anybody to do the same shit that I do. Okay? At the end of the day, I'm kind of fucked up in the head, okay?
I mean, at least she acknowledges that, but also she does need to learn not everyone deserves a chance, just like how not everyone deserves a second chance. If they show you how they are, and if you already knew they were troublemakers, why give them the time of day?
I mean, how? Maybe call me chronically online. But like barely seen one or two Rakai clip. I knew what kind of person he was. Why would you ever engage with him in like any way? And thinking that he's gonna be a fair and decent chap when dude is out there live streaming himself stealing from shops. Like, I just you don't know what kind of reaction you're gonna get. That's a cope to me.
Yeah.
Like when just looking at like 5 minutes of Rakai clips will tell you exactly what is about and how we will react. And it was sadly unsurprising to see this situation unfold.
Mm-hmm.
It is a lose-lose situation. And maybe I shouldn't talk about this, but it's just something that I had to say because I just want to be kind to people, you know? I felt like the way I answered the questions with my inflections, maybe it was very clear that I tried to make it clear that the question bothered me. But then again, also, it kind of doesn't bother me because I get asked it so much, but I was put on the spot in the moment, and I knew I was on a stream, and I'm like, man,
Yep. There it is.
Yep.
damn.
It's the
They're really gonna
instant
ask-
I was bothered, but I actually wasn't bothered. Here's why I wasn't bothered, where she directly contradicts her previous description of the event. It's like, I get it. You want to look strong in front of your audience. That's okay. We all do. But at a certain point, the thing that gets me about this is the fact that the constant, trying to paint yourself as a victim of something horrible, when in reality, worst case, you just had an uncomfortable interaction with two streamers who you had the option of, leaving alone at any point throughout said interaction.
Yeah. It's like other VTubers have uncomfortable interactions with other VTubers all the time. But, well, I can't even say this happens all the time. But most of the time, they don't make it a huge deal. Sometimes there's the VTubers who make vague posts or a Google Docie on it. But that doesn't happen too much about one-off situations. But you just have to grit your teeth, bear it, and move on.
Yeah, actually, Gabriel in chat put it in a pretty concise manner where she wants to look strong and vulnerable at the same time. It's a sort of wanting to have your cake and eat it too type thing, where she
Yeah.
wants to look like she was put upon by these awful IRL streamers, but she also doesn't want to admit that she caved a little.
Yeah.
It's incredibly frustrating how she's so close to like the truth, quote unquote, when she says, "Oh, it's a lose-lose, and maybe I shouldn't talk about it." When I hear that, I'm just like, man, you're so close to it. Why don't you listen to yourself sometimes?
Alice Serrana's right. Schrodinger's VTuber. I think it's more Schrodinger's victimhood.
Yeah.
Man, it's just. I honestly think her demeanor on this entire thing would have been different if she was streaming on her side as well. I think the only reason why she was acting like this is because it was only their stream that caught her stuff, and she didn't have control of her own narrative.
That's true.
That's me being cynical about it too.
I'm inclined to think the same, to be honest.
The issue is that if you don't control your own narrative, people will create a narrative to control you.
Tango, I honestly thought VTubing was a meme until Lum was part of the Archcast, lol. That being said, you're the VTuber of our blackened heretical hearts. Yes, yes. Baking stream 1. Baking stream after I hit 10,000 subscribers, and I'm like 320 subs away from that.
Remember, you must petrish that cookie dough with your fine toes.
Shut up, Zan. I enjoy being on the Archcast, and it's like I've told this story multiple times, but it also kind of leans into the same topic of larger streamers platforming smaller streamers and everything like that. Like early days of YouTube, not so much now anymore, just because of how much people are afraid of being stabbed in the back. But it was common for larger YouTubers to adopt smaller ones, hold them up, and it's like, look at this neat little thing I found. That's how a lot of YouTubers started growing their platform, because somebody else took the chance to hold them up. Arch did that with me, just after randomly finding me when I was playing Stellar Blade like a year and a half ago. He just pops by my stream, gives me $100 after beating a boss I was having trouble on. He invites me to the Archcast, and now I'm here. And it's like, I'm thankful for that. I can't say that I'm thankful for him too much, otherwise his ego will be out of control. then he'll just be like, yes, Lum Lum, I am the reason of your creation. I am the reason of your success. And then I have to beat him down with a stick and say, shut up, Arch. And it's like I was also lucky to just meet so many people as well. Being able to go on side scrollers with Stuttering Craig and Blabs. They're both phenomenal people. I adore them both. I got to meet Shadiversity. Love that Australian. He's great. I got to meet a few other people that I've looked up to in the YouTube space as well. And heck, one day I would still love to meet Sargon, but he's anime racist, so I don't know if that'll happen. But one day,
Probably not.
I would love to just chat about the Christopher Nolan Odyssey movie with Sargon. But
I think you need to wear a skin suit or something.
that would require me to beg on my hands and knees and promise that I'll behave. But I don't think that'll ever happen. But for the off chance that Sargon would ever see anything from me, good job on your stuff. Keep up the good work. In the vampire campaign, 10 out of 10. You were great. Sargon is a boomer, but he's a secret gooner. Sargon don't be he is anime racist. I understand. I don't blame him either. At least he's open with his anime racism. Alright, let us continue.
Ask me that on a stream? Holy shit. That's messed up. You know what I mean? But I was friendly.
You could always cheekily turn the question back around on the asker.
That's true. That's also something that I've done before. That's why, like, I don't give a shit. Like, I've seen so many people, like, call me, like, you know, a man, a pedo, like, all this shit, right? I know I'm not a man. I know I'm not a pedo.
Those accusations are not unique to you, Iron Mouse. Everyone,
yeah. And she's also one step away from asking the real question, which is, what people? Which people?
Yeah.
Who keeps calling her that?
Who is saying these things? And you know, like, oh, I don't care about it. Well, you're talking about it right now, so you do care. To an extent. Because it's not the first time she brings that up either. And you know, again, it's making a problem that's affecting all VTuber or Iron Mouse problems somehow. Like, why are you making it so much about yourself right now? It's not just about you.
Gotta collect those sweet points to fill that victim bar.
Sure.
You know, also it's like there's VTubers that, like, just because of how small they are, get a lot more harassment than, like, you know, than Mouse or anyone larger would ever get. Because they see smaller account, easier target, and then eventually that person will either, you know, have a very strong backbone and ignore everything, or graduate. I don't know.
I know I'm none of those things. So it's like, alright, bro, you can keep on saying that shit. It's annoying, but you do you, bro. Go ahead. You know what I mean? I don't know, but that's just me. It bothers just because I'm like in a point where it's like it's happened so much that, like, I'm just like, okay, whatever. That doesn't mean it doesn't bother other people. You know what I mean? Other people, it hurts other people. And that's why, to me, it's like, I don't know. I just want to try to be as kind as possible because the only person I can control is myself, not anybody
While I
else.
also don't think you need to or should apologize because it's really small, you truly have such a big heart. If something weighs heavy on you, Do what need to feel peace.
The only
We appreciate speaking your mind.
Thank you very much.
Love, Mousy.
The only person I can control is myself. I can't control anybody else. I can't control the thoughts and feelings of other people. I can only control my thoughts and feelings. And sometimes I can't even do that right.
I'm telling you, 2026 is when we see the first actual Iron Mouse crash out. My prediction, like, midsummer 2026.
My prediction: Mythos first.
Mythos. Oh yeah, for fucking sure. Mythos first. It's like, you know what, Zan? On another Yap stream on my channel, we will talk about Mythos HQ because I gotta yap about my personal rats about that agency.
Because you know, funny joke about that. When I made that post recently, where I actually mentioned them in passing as like they're gonna be the next corpo that's gonna implode, someone DM me saying, "Hey, damn, you really are preying on their downfall." No, I'm not. It's already happening. We just can't see it yet.
Oh no, we could see it,
I'm not preying on anything.
after a
it's
couple.
already happening, dude.
Yeah, it's like
Actually,
like we've been able to see it for months. And it's like if it's true about the only a 2-year NDA, that is so short, and people just start spilling their guts as soon as that's up. Or if it's
no, 'cause
true
see,
with
I've had
go ahead.
people saying I'm like trying to start shit. No, it's already there. You guys are just blind to it. You don't have the pattern recognition that I and I assume the other 2 people here in this stream do.
It's like we all know that they have their favorites at agency. I still think
I mean, there's even more than that.
it's like I personally think, and I told you this the other day, they probably wanted to do the same thing as Allure, but didn't want to lose out on sponsorship opportunities because they didn't want to be the horror agency affectionate. Ugh, I don't know. I know you're still tilted about Allure getting
I don't
shafted
think
for
I've
that award.
talked about that to Armchair. Okay, so it's like a big meme I've had with some of the people I've talked with for a year, including Loom, which is last year there was like the VTuber award with Philion, it was like the second edition, and for Rising Corpo of the Year, you had a couple of people, a couple of agency, and you had like Mythos HQ and VLUR.
Yeah, I
Trust me,
remember.
VLUR should have won that 100%. However, for some reason, and because I am under the assumption that Mythos is very well connected, considering Most Critical voiced their announcement, considering they're very well connected with Twitch, and especially because they pushed all their talent on Twitch, despite them getting banned by the false flagging because the scam bot is broken. Um, you know, Dan Clancy, the Twitch connection. Oh, it's starting to make sense all of a sudden. So, you know, maybe it's just me going full rat and going crazy and schizo, but I'm 100% convinced that Valier deserved that award, and they only got shafted because of like some cynical
Twitch
connection.
politics.
Yeah, Twitch politics got in the way. You know, I mean,
I
there's
could
also the
believe
fact
that.
that, you know, Valier is like, well, for lack of better word, a group of sex workers, which, you know, my beloved, I love those girls, but you know, maybe they would have been like, oh, you know, we can't do that. Let's get Mythos. You know, they're like they lean into it, but they're not outright doing it yet. At that
I
time,
mean,
I
they
don't think
didn't the
Apple had
VTuber award
started.
have a lewd tuber category?
Yes,
Am I
they had.
remembering wrong?
No, they had. No, but like that's like you know, an entire agency, and that throws kind of shade into like how that sort of like
This is
community
what
has been
playing
built up.
coy around the
Yeah,
definition of horror does. The
yeah, essentially,
actual
yeah.
whores get snubbed.
Yep.
Exactly. You get it.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with Zan. I think either a major call out with Mythos HQ. I think probably spring of 2026.
It's
or
not a matter of if, it's a matter of when.
when. Yeah. I mean, especially after Zeus and Ares was talking about it on their PL accounts.
Yeah, and
It's like
Hades
I
flat
am
out
so
mentioned it on
upset.
main.
I'm so fucking upset that I couldn't archive that stream because I was in the middle of D&D and the stream was still going on. And then I went to bed right afterwards. I'm sure somebody archived it, but I have to rely on a screenshot from Alara's stream for it, but yeah, whatever.
You know, I am not an anti. I am just a pattern recognizer, and
Yes.
I am noticing a lot right now. I
Yes.
know it's bad. Noticing is bad. I know.
Is that a 17-hour stream? What? Oh yeah. Jesus. Yeah, that is a 17-hour stream. Goddamn. Longer is. Hold on. Okay. What? Do you remember if there's anything else of note that she talks about in the last like minutes of this?
Not really. She just keeps looping on "I'm so
Okay.
kind."
Well, she can talk in the mirror later. But for now, we will go to the transcript of Tectone. Now, I'm not watching his 15-minute fucking video, so I will just look at the side here, where I agree with him. I hate that I have to agree with him. But he says 12 minutes and 6 seconds into the video. I don't understand why we're treating Iron Mouse like she's a child. I don't understand why we're treating Iron Mouse like she couldn't have defended herself. Or like she didn't have an out. I think this whole culture of being overprotected of women, claiming that they're like brain dead defenseless retards, does a lot more harm than good. It actually causes a lot of men a lot of issues when every interaction with a man and a woman is underneath a fucking magnifying glass, trying to figure out, was she uncomfortable? He did go within 5 inches of her. Did he make eye contact with anything below the neck? I'm pretty sure that's rape, guys. Like, can we all just calm down with this? She's on an iPad, she's 30 years old, and she's being talked to by 2 children. And I want to remind you, Rakai said, you're a legend. Asian boy said, I want to ask you a question. No, I shouldn't. Agent said, good idea. And then Iron Mouse said, no, you can ask me anything you want. She invited it herself. The kid even realized in his own head that he shouldn't say that. And then Iron Mouse said, no, you should. So, yeah, I agree with him on that. She invited that whole interaction to her.
And we
on
hate
top of
that we have to.
Yeah.
'Cause
On top of
y-
that, the thing is, a lot of people, if they watch those two clips side by side and they note the drastic change in how she portrays Ray and Rakai's interaction with her, might be wondering what could possibly have motivated that drastic a shift. But the thing is, in between when she streamed this on the 7th and when she streamed the second one on the 11th, on about a day after the Streamer Awards, I think I left this in the link channel as well. Rakai went on stream and he started crashing out at Cutie Cinderella over making a joke about him streaming himself stealing from a shop. And as part of this crash out, he was like, he was slinging a bunch of insults at her, and he ended up getting banned off of Twitch and getting his ban extended because of
very
this tirade
classy.
that he directed at Cutie Cinderella. And I just find it's very convenient that after this happens, after he starts getting a bunch of public flack for speaking out and making fun of the insulting the organizer of the Streamer Awards, then IMAS does a complete 180 on how that interaction between her and Rakai went, to the point where she even goes like, oh, I don't know them, right? Like, I don't know what they're like. They were mean to me, etc., etc.
Yeah.
I think something else that makes this very frustrating to me is that, like, I've been in that position before where you have two like young dumb idiot come to you and ask stupid question intentionally as a way to snark and mock you. But like you should have like went with that from the start. Why did you change your mind? Like that just makes you look so bad, makes you look indefensible because you were fine with it before. Now why the change all of a sudden? What made you change your mind? And as I'm sure put out, well, that makes you look very cynical and not in a good way.
Yeah.
I saw an opportunity to put myself in a victim position so that VTubers stop messing with me because I didn't defend them when I should have.
I don't even think it was catered at VTubers. I think it was just catered at the organizers of the Streamer Awards.
I think it
Just
was
think about
catered
it.
to our audience, but you go
I
ahead.
mean, I don't think it explains the 180 when it comes to the way she portrayed Rakai, because when she was talking to her audience the first time around, she was very comfortable just saying, "Oh, there
Yeah.
was that interaction. It was a little awkward. I didn't know that they were streaming, but oh well. I hope they didn't think that I didn't say. I hope I didn't say anything too weird, right?"
Mhm.
Okay.
Then after Rakai publicly flips out against Cutie Cinderella, she does a 180 and goes, "Yeah, I was. Rakai treated me so awfully, etc., etc., etc." I don't think it's aimed at her audience. I think it's just saving face in the eyes of the organizers of the awards.
Yeah.
Because now that Rakai is, insulted the organizers of the awards, he is now persona non grata.
Oh no, she's engaging in LA streamer flash politics.
That's what I think is going on, right? That's
No,
the.
you're
I
right.
feel like
It
that's
makes
the more
sense.
reasonable
No, it makes sense.
explanation. Yeah.
You're making a lot of sense right now, Mister.
I still find it funny that Rakai was grounded and then his Twitch ban was extended.
Yeah, he got grounded by his mother. That was hilarious.
If a Twitch streamer is old enough to be grounded by their mother, I feel like they should not be a Twitch streamer. Hot take, I know.
I mentioned that, and I'm kind of a. Nina Lin got unbanned, right? When she like assaulted two men on cam, essentially.
Yeah.
I want to remind people that the legal age for within the TOS for streaming on Twitch is 15. How long until we have a 15-year-old getting sexually assaulted on stream? What will happen then? Because we're seemingly fine with people getting sexually assaulted,
I mean, no.
and we're
Yeah,
fine with
it's
children.
no. Don't forget, it has to be very specific. If it's a woman doing it, then it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Having a woman be the perpetrator cancels out the crime.
Exactly, because which is worse? Going after a woman and accidentally impeding on her rights, or a male victim. Honestly, which one is a little more important here? Ugh.
Because like I understand that people could dismiss me by saying, "Oh yeah, you're making a fallacy right now. It's the dominoes thing." Like no, like we are actively saying this behavior is fine, tolerable, and acceptable by unbanning her like that and like essentially just giving her a slap on the finger. So that's just the next step, logical step. This is not that different. It's just the age of the victim that changes.
Yeah.
Like this
Hi,
is realistic.
Max.
Like, I am fully convinced now that the only way ban that would be justified because of like how much garbage people have been getting away with would be if someone actually tried to unalive someone else on stream. That's like the fact that we have gotten this low, that this is the only thing that I think would justify a ban according to the way they've enforced their TOS says a lot about how cooked we are, truly.
Yeah. It's just like I still can't believe this entire situation eventually loops back on, man, so should we really gatekeep people from VTubing? And unfortunately, we're at the point where it's kind of too late. But still, you gotta gatekeep what you care about. And somebody that I was very surprised, who was, saying that gatekeeping your hobbies is good, decided to turn around and say that no, you shouldn't gatekeep VTubing. That is Smugalana. And we shall play this.
I think gatekeeping normies from VTubing is wrong. Before you get your pitchforks and start shitting yourself, hear me out. I think most of the people that are saying that are armchair streamers and VTweeters pretending to like know what they're talking about. When in reality, they have no idea how to grow a channel or how getting new viewers works. Now listen to me. They're the type that thinks, oh, you just need to like collab with every popular VTuber and then you're set for life. That's not how it works, little bro, okay? Probably 70 to 80% of my audience in this stream right now used to be normies who had never heard of a VTuber before in their entire life.
Now, the argument to make there is used to be is doing a lot of heavy lifting in that sentence.
Yeah.
But if we bypass if we bypass her talking about going for the ad homonyms there, the argument she's fundamentally making is that the main argument she's making in favor of not gatekeeping normies is numbers, right? We get more numbers if we allow normies into VTubing. And I mean, yeah, you're right, you do get more numbers. But the argument that people are leveling, for the most part, is a matter of quality, not quantity. People know that you can get more numbers if you simply lose all of your standards and let whoever enter. The problem is, when they enter, they shit everything up. That's why people don't want them around. People are not idiots. We know that we can get numbers. It's just that the cost of doing so is something that goes beyond mere cynical gain or loss.
Yep.
I do want to mention two things. One, I've talked about this a couple of times before, but I've seen people who have 100, 200 concurrent viewer be able to do content creation as a full-time job when you have IRL streamer with 1,000 concurrent viewer who cannot go full-time still. Because, in VTubing, we have higher quality, less quantity. So it's just a completely different environment that we evolve in, because all VTuber fans are essentially mentally ill individuals, so therefore attracting a lower number but higher quality is better. And if I may throw some kind of horseshoe at her face, funny that the person who 90% of their content consists of React slop is talking about other people being VTweeter and armchair experts. That's quite quaint of you, quite pretty of you to make that argument right now.
It's like React slop is the easiest type of content to make.
Yeah, exactly.
That's hardly even making content. That's just you watching something. It's like, yeah, you said
you're
that.
making the most normie accessible, most basic vanilla type of content, pure React content, and you're talking about like growing a channel and stuff. What are you talking about?
It's React like I will use Armchair as an example. His stream length alone is a great filter, but it's like Armchair makes fantastic content. I highly recommend, if you guys are bored or need something to listen to at work that is at least 6 hours long, or at the longest 14 hours long between two streams, go listen to Armchair. He is fantastic. He puts in the research. There's a lot of yapping between him and chat that just adds a lot more substance to the topic that he is talking about. Sometimes it goes off the rails, like with his stream last night, where we somehow managed to get to what was it? Fuck, I forgot. But it went so off topic of the original stream. It eventually had to loop back around. But yes, go subscribe. Listen to Armchair. He is great, and I am happy that I could have him on here. And now Zan just needs to start making content. Zan.
Yeah, I guess. And like I'm not gonna act like I don't enjoy React content. No, React content can be great content, can be very good. I enjoy it myself. The thing is, if most of your content is React content, then I think there's a problem. Because like I've managed some VTubers before, and I've actually recommended that they do React content, and it's done pretty well. But the thing is that you need to treat it with like, it's like drug. You need to not take too much of it, because the moment
The
you
main
start
problem that
taking
I
too
see with
much of it,
most React content is if you react to something that you agree with, you don't have a lot of room to basically assert what you are as a brand.
yeah,
Because the thing is, brand wise, there are two components to branding that make it function as an exercise. You have the whole identification portion of it, which everyone is familiar with. That's the part of branding that everyone knows. This is where you tell your audience what you are, what you do, how you want to be seen. But the second part of branding, which is the bit that most people don't get emphasized to them as much, is telling people what you are not. That's the differentiation part of being a brand, where you tell people, this is what I'm not, this is what I don't say, this is how I don't want you to see me. And the problem with React content is if you do mostly React content and you mostly react to stuff you agree with, you have the identification portion down, but you don't have an entire half of your brand is missing, basically. Which is why when it comes to doing React content, I just don't see the appeal of doing reactions to things that you like and or agree with, because where's the room for you to add any sort of input? I don't think that is, well, this may be me being a little bit of a stick in the mud, but I don't think that that's transformative at all. It's mostly just, nodding along and humming and hawing. Whereas if you react to something you disagree with, you stop the videos, you intersperse it with your own your own thoughts and feelings and perspectives. You present counter arguments. You come up with a coherent response. Then you actually have something resembling a discussion.
it's funny because I feel like Asmongold does that pretty well. And for someone who seems to really like Asmongold, she really hasn't understand what makes his content tick for a lot of people, which is just like you said, having your own opinion, being able to formulate it and disagree with some of the arguments being made in the video you react to and stuff. But at the same time, it also makes you replaceable. Because like you can put anyone nodding along to like a video that they agree with, and that's not bad for like audience retention. Sure, now you're fine, but once you stop making that content, I doubt they're gonna stick around. They just move on to the next reaction channel that just nods along.
Yeah. It's like I try to add a bit of substance to when I do my react stuff, because I did watch Shu's newest video on stream, but I did also yap about my experience of being groomed on the internet when I was younger and everything like that. Or like when I was asking my kiddo, like, hey, have you heard of this app or any of your friends use it? And she's like, no. Then it's just like, oh, well, thank fucking God.
Did you talk to them about the kid dating app?
It's like she's never been heard on stream. I mute myself, I ask her, and then I unmute myself when she's out of the room, and then I talk about what she told me.
Mm.
I
Yuki. Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Oh no, you go ahead.
Yeah, did you ask her about that kid dating app that made
Yes.
the round with that Sean head video?
Yes, she said she never heard of it.
Good.
Yeah. Again, the reason why there are a lot of VTubers who are doing React content is because algorithmically it gets rewarded, because
Yeah.
it does. That is a genre of content that YouTube pushes quite heavily. Now, the problem is, again, I think that Alana is right in terms of the argument she's making that it will get you numbers, right? But I don't think that anyone would keep a straight face and tell me from the heart that they put their heart and soul into reacting to content or making React content. I just find that to be very, very difficult to believe. And fundamentally, that is the counter argument that is being presented. That isn't really being acknowledged when Alana says, people are being stupid, we should let in normies because it'll give us numbers. Because that's what our argument boils down to. And it's the same reason why doing React content makes sense, right? It makes sense to me that someone whose main content genre is React content would present that counter argument against the stance that we should gatekeep normies. Because at the end of the day, it all revolves around just numbers.
Yeah.
But the thing is, people object to it because they're not just focused on the numbers.
I thought, especially in VTubing with like things like Nijisanji and stuff, I thought that big number good was already proven to be a bad thing. But what do I know?
It's like everybody wants to make money because that's just our good old capitalist society. I love capitalism. Don't get
Maybe
me wrong, fellas.
Nijisanji and the average VTuber, indie VTuber, have more in common than you think, guys. Maybe consider that.
I don't know. When you approach a fandom or a subculture or a medium as just you're basically thinking of it like a soulless corporation does. Like, yeah, I feel like that misses the point.
Yeah. And it's like it's hard when like a VTuber is mostly known for react slot for a normie audience, for them to also say, "Oh well, gatekeep the normies," because that's
I'm not
most of
even
their
sure
views.
she understand the words gatekeeping because of how she used it.
It's like apparently she is like very pro gatekeeping and everything when it comes to World of Warcraft. But when it's for this specific thing, it's like, I don't gatekeep. That's kind of cringe. It's
Gee,
like
I wonder why.
it's like I guess she will
Every
gatekeep for very specific things that she enjoys. But as long as
with
it's the popular
games,
narrative, then
with games in particular, I feel like that is part of the reason why I suspect she would apply the principle of gatekeeping to games rather than to VTubing, is because games as a medium they make it very, very easy to see when they are being changed by people who are not familiar with the thing. I'll use Magic the Gathering as an example. Magic 10 years ago, very distinct art style, mechanics were all based around the in-universe lore and story, etc., etc. Magic now has basically been pushed into being the Fortnite of TCGs. You have SpongeBob, Spider-Man, Marvel shoved into it, Final Fantasy 14. And you can very easily see through everything from the mechanics to the art design to the overall lack of lore that is actually in universe to the product itself. There's basically a whole bunch of ways that you cannot possibly miss that it has been altered because essentially the gate has been left open. But when it comes to VTubing, that becomes a little bit more difficult for most people to tell because it's not as the signs that it is being eroded in terms of its identity by people coming in are not as obvious as it would be for something like Magic the Gathering.
And you also forgot disrespecting the original work in that conversation, because I did not like a lot of the decisions that were made when they decided to portray Tolkien's work in Magic, which should have been it was like the perfect combination, but they screwed it up.
Yeah.
Man,
Or how they treated Seb McKinnon. I don't know if you've heard about that, but it's one of my personal grievances with Wizards of the Coast.
it's like I think just but for the past like 10 years and everything, they just want to burn the nerd stuff that was really liked by a very niche section of people. Be like, oh, like it here normies, enjoy
Yeah.
it. Stranger Things was like, here you go, look at D&D. Then COVID was like, oh, look at D&D. And then it's like,
Yep.
not throwing shade at Critical Role, but Critical Role definitely has
Accelerated
that audience to it.
Yeah.
And then
And
with
it's
the
the
Rings
exact
of
same.
Power.
It's the exact same argument being used every time as well. Like for example,
Yeah.
when Magic does those sets where they try to grab other IPs and shove them into the game, those sets do numbers because people who aren't a fan of Magic but are a fan of the thing being shoved into the game buy sets, and of course it gets you more numbers. But the cost of that is basically chipping away at the thing that makes the product have its own identity or unique in any way. That's the thing that people take issue with.
Dare I say, it's slopification of our
Yeah.
intellectual properties.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically.
And
You
it's
know,
like,
I don't even understand why I don't see more artists crash out about this. Because, like, you think artistical integrity would be on the top of the fight they'd be willing to engage in. Because, like, this is a clear display of, like, spitting in the face of everyone who's made art for Magic the Gathering for, like, 30 odd years now. To, like, replace it with this cheap screenshot from a TV show. Like,
I mean, don't
like,
forget
come on,
they
you're not
can't
even making an effort.
they can't crash out too much, because then what if suddenly they change their mind, they want to start hiring new artists, but then they see that you were shit talking them. Then they're like, you know what, we won't hire you because you said this mean thing 6 years ago.
Yeah, pretty much.
Because I'm seeing this coming being brought up right now of someone saying, I think it's Insane Linguist. There used to be joke cards in MTG, but those were rare and very far between. No, that's not the problem. Joke cards are great. The problem is when you introduce that.
They were
How do you call that
created
again?
with the intention. They were created and sold with the intention of being jokes. Like they were not.
Yes.
They were not integrated into the game.
You know, there was not like that
itself.
irony thing, like ironical enjoyer thing, that like poisons
Magic
everything.
had unfinity and stuff like that, and that was everyone acknowledged. Yeah, that's supposed to be all of the joke cards. Were not they're not pushed in terms of meta play or anything like that. But with their recent sets, what they've done is they've tried to turn the IP injections, I suppose is the way that I would put them. They've tried to make the IP injections basically inseparable from the way that the game is played.
Yeah.
So now, even if you are someone who cares about the game and tries to play the game, you can't even just ignore it as just an aesthetic that your opponent might use when they play a game on the opposite side of the table. This is an actual thing you might have to be concerned about in terms of people having a reason to play it competitively as well.
I don't know if you saw the fast one they pulled, because like they tried adapting the Spider-Man cards to be in
I saw,
universe.
yeah.
But like they
Yeah.
made they commissioned such low quality art and they did it so sloppily that they were like, see, that don't sell. The people love the art from the IP. You know, like
It's not even that.
you're
They
intentionally
fucked up the
sabotaging
IP.
it.
They fucked up the IP transaction as well. So they didn't retain the rights indefinitely or something along those
Yeah,
lines.
as well.
So they essentially had to come up with alternate versions of the Spider-Man cards that they introduced for the online version of the game, Magic MTG Arena. And when they went to make their alternate versions of the cards, instead of pulling from existing characters within Magic's universe, they just made up a whole bunch of new ones. And it just none of those made sense. There was no attempt at trying to integrate their existing IP and its
There was
its
no
lore and
lore.
universe into it at all. It was so sloppy.
It just sucks seeing the things that you care about be torn apart. It's like,
Yeah.
I know I'm preaching to the choir. Those of you who are frequent Arch viewers that watch the erosion of Warhammer 40k and the absolute, like, execution of Warhammer Fantasy. They don't even acknowledge that anymore.
The biggest example is, I think, Craven the Hunter, because like they created like a whole new character in the replacement art.
Yeah.
But when you have Ezuri, you have Garuk, hell, you have Cheville. People were joking back in
Cheville
the
was the
day
perfect one because it was like the right
Yeah.
color combination as well, and they just fucked
Like,
that one up completely.
you have so many hunter
Sorry, we're like nerding out about
character.
MTG.
Oh,
Yeah,
you're
you have
fine.
but like you have so many hunter character they could have used, but no, let's make this completely new character that has no connection with the lore in the universe. Why? Well,
Yeah.
because we're lazy.
They didn't even try to make the characters compelling. Like someone brought up in chat earlier on that Magic used to do like full-on novels to expand upon
Yes.
the lore of their universe, flesh out characters, get people invested in it. None of that happened with the Spider-Man set. They just dropped these in and expected people to just, care. Or maybe that's a bit generous. I don't think they even expected people to care.
To be fair, they've been similarly to like Warhammer. They've been fudging and screwing up with the novel as well. I still remember when they tried to take the gay out of Chandra. Man, that was miserable. What a terrible book. Who came up with that?
Yeah, but again, the argument against the argument against trying to cater to or pander to people who are normies or outside of your fandom or outside of whatever specific subgenre or niche that you specialize in, the argument is not one of but we think this will make us grow better. No, that's besides the point. The argument is a qualitative one, not a quantitative one. It's about the experience, about the identity. It's about all of the very difficult to most people are going to find it difficult to articulate because it's an intangible thing that we're trying to protect, right? And that doesn't compute if in the face of someone who's just arguing, oh, but we can get numbers. And that's why I don't think that I feel like if your view of something is if your argument for opening the gate, so to speak, is mostly just, oh, but we can get numbers, you're missing the point.
Mhm.
That just turns it into another interchangeable thing or trend or aesthetic rather than,
And
a subculture or something that has any sort of cultural value.
if we're even talking from like a business aspect, which is the sort of the thing I'm passionate about, it's terrible because like sure you're gonna have big numbers now, but the people who have bought the Final Fantasy set or the Final Fantasy fan, they're just gonna buy the card. They're never gonna play Magic the
Yeah.
Gathering again. They're gonna keep them as
Yeah.
collectors. They're gonna like frame it and everything. So you need to keep chasing, and as much as you keep chasing, you keep eroding your pre-existing fan base, and it's like at some point, the dam is gonna break and your brand's
Yeah.
just gonna crash. Like
Like
it's
are
short
some of the
term.
people who start buying products because it features their favorite IP going to stay and play the game? Sure. But I
Not
mean,
enough that it's worth the damage.
yeah, exactly.
And
It's just
it's that whole thing that we're seeing a lot right now with like short term growth to satisfy quarterly report instead
yeah.
of long sustained stable business model.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's like honestly, whenever there's new sets that come out or anything new and shiny that is a guest IP for anything, I like to think of it as like when I get into something for a little bit and I have a super hyper fixation on it for like ranging anywhere from a few weeks to a half a year. I will study the hell out of it. I will want to learn as much as I can about it. I will deep dive, listen to retrospectives, all of this other stuff. I will have it as my personality for months. And then as soon as I get bored, I drop it, I forget about it, and then I memory hole it. That's essentially how a lot of people go about like for example, Magic the Gathering, and then they add a new Final Fantasy set or Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles or My Little Pony.
Yeah.
And putting the noticing cap on when we go from like 4 core in-lore sets in a year, and that suddenly we go down to 3, and then we have like 9
Yeah,
different
yeah.
non-universe sets, I cannot help but
Yeah.
think, maybe
And
they're
those
doing this for
sets
purely monetary reasons. How hard.
those sets also go from just being an aesthetic change, they take existing Magic cards and just change the art and the title or whatever, but they don't change the text, to being standard pushed sets in the sense that you
Yes.
actually they become
like-
part of the competitive metagame as well.
We're
Like
at the
it's
point
definitely
where
being pushed.
we're at the point where we don't even have to recover from the last set that we're already in the middle of the reveal of the new one. It's too fast, man.
Fun
It's not
experiment to
sustainable.
do with every new set release in Magic is to weigh up the ratio of how many videos made about the set consist of gameplay versus how many videos made about the set consist of unboxings.
Yeah.
The ratio it's not a very favorable one in terms of gameplay with each new release.
I think we should get back on point.
It's okay.
Yes.
That's the purpose of these streams, is just to go off on tangents, because it's like it may be a tangent but it still adds on to the argument that we're having. Where were This is fun though. You love tangents? I love tangents too. That's why I never stop them. I'm not like, no, we went off topic. We gotta go back. Cease being nerds.
You're a nerd.
I know I am. Shut up.
Me too.
Aren't we all?
We already did that one. We already so that one. We already that one. That one.
You know, while we were on the topic of like people not understanding gatekeeping, I think
Mm.
Kitsunero, you know, God,
She
it's
had a bit of
funny.
a
Do I
come to
tell?
Jesus moment with this
Yeah.
recent event.
Do I
Oh
tell the
yeah.
lore about this? Because I have a bit of lore with Kitsunero, funnily enough.
Oh,
Because
go
like
ahead.
it really feels like a like Armchair said, a Jesus came kind of moment. I remember like my first interaction with Kitsunero was when she was, posting positively about men, and she got a bunch of shit for that.
Mm.
And I decided to follow her. I thought she was a bit interesting and that she had interesting comments to make. And then all of a sudden, I don't know why, she started shit talking about idol culture and rejecting, the idol roots of VTubing. I took
Mm.
offense to that. I actually ratioed her in her own tweet. So yeah, that's funny story. That goes back. I remember Nyaru. I don't know if that name is familiar to you, but she very much cares about idol stuff, and she had a lot of thing to say about it, and she very much laid into there back then, which I agreed with. And then I just muted her and then just move on because I don't need to
The
engage with people who don't understand it.
Yeah, the interesting thing about Kitsunero's initial argument against, initial argument for separating VTubing from its idol culture roots was the idea that VTubing does not need, you don't need to acknowledge the idol culture roots of VTubing in order to be a VTuber. And if you take that argument to its logical conclusion, that means that being a VTuber is just a medium, right? But the problem is, when you actually look at what that interpretation of VTubing gives rise to, that's how you get things like the burnt peanut being regarded as a VTuber. Because if VTubing is just a medium, then how do you define where's the line that you draw in terms of what mediums count as VTubing and what mediums don't? Is it just a virtual avatar? If so, how detailed does the virtual avatar have to be? Does it need stylistic features, etc., etc., etc.? And you start getting caught into this game of semantics and superficial interpretations of what a VTuber is supposed to look like, rather than what a VTuber is. And I assume that after looking at all of this, after seeing people unironically make the argument that, oh, Peanut is a VTuber, hopefully that has now demonstrated why trying to separate VTubing as a thing, as from its cultural or subcultural roots, is just not a great idea if you actually want to have some sort of concrete definition of what it is or isn't.
Yeah.
It's funny you mention all that because my main point is gonna turn around to all that with like the post Asmongold made about it. But yeah, to resume on the story, then what happened is that a couple of months after, that's when she got doxxed for saying supporting males again. How dare she? And so we had kind of like this silly moment where I'm like, hey, I think you don't deserve that. That's bullshit. You have my support. I know we had our disagreement in the past. Nah, nah, nah. She had completely forgot about that actual disagreement, which was kind of hilarious. And when we became mutuals and talked a little bit about it. And then, so seeing her go from idol culture bad, reject idol culture, VTubing doesn't need its idol roots, to then turn around to like, oh no, it's fine, I was being silly back then and I didn't understood it, to now her saying Peanut is not a VTuber, to now her finally coming to the logical conclusion that gatekeeping is important to VTubing. Like you said, it feels like a come to Jesus kind of moment. Like, it's like a proud dad watching her child like, you've come so far. Truly, we have. Go support Kitsunero. She needs it badly. She took so much shit and so much flack for saying the arguably, if you ask me, brave, yet a bit foolish, unfortunately, thing that a non-VTuber won the VTuber award, which, while true, definitely put a target on her back.
If a VTuber needs to
I don't
do
know
the
if you
whole
have
idol culture kayfabe stuff, then what about those who use their avatar in stream games or use an avatar in YAP? Or else it gets
they're
messy.
PNG tubers.
It's like
Simple.
like essentially with the whole kayfabe thing. I would like to say that you don't have to play a character all the time. Like, I don't play a character. I'm just me. I'm just a fish on the internet. But that's all I am. I am a fish on the internet. I don't post my face like other quote unquote VTubers do. There's a lot of
Kayfabe is a
VTubers.
loose term.
It's like there's people who use VTuber avatars that also do OnlyFans that post everything, and it's like those aren't VTubers. Those are just you know, people using a VTuber avatar as an aesthetic.
You
Or
know, I
they're
don't know if you can pull up that Asmongold tweet because that's like gonna be my closing point about this. I think it's like at the very top.
yeah, this one.
Yeah, this one. See, this is stupid. This is huge Asmongold hell, and I'm going to try and explain it as concisely as I can. So let's just read the tweet first. The idol culturate is very rational, actually. It's controlling, manipulative, and breed parasocial mental illness, bad for idols and fans alike. Everyone is entitled to their own culture, but they're not entitled to the rest of world liking it. Now, if I replace idol culture with LA streamer culture, does that ring a bell to anyone? Or Twitch culture? Or streaming culture in general? See, I could say that exact same thing about streaming culture as well. The hate on streaming culture is very rational. The content creators are very manipulative over their audience and breed parasocial mental illness and use them to harass and attack other people. It's bad for content creators like streamers and fans alike who get manipulated. This is stupid. I can use that argument for literally any kind of entertainment culture at large. I could say the same about acting, about like how acting culture hate is very rational because all those people are fake, manipulative, and you have all those director who sometimes, dare I say, what happened with our favorite, what was his name again? N- Uh, Epstein? Was no,
Yes.
that's not him. That's
Wait, Weinstein?
Weinstein.
Weinstein, there you go. Because we have people like Weinstein and stuff. So no, again, I can make that point about literally anything that's like entertainment culture. So Asmus Gold point is mute because it's irrelevant.
Mm,
It,
there's
it's
besides that as well. When you sorry.
I'll just quick add on. It's like I honestly think like as much as I do not like girlfriend experience VTubers, at least you can say that the fake girlfriend experience VTuber is not a real person. But people like Pokimane keeping up that parasocial bullshit and like, doing the same girlfriend experience type shit. That's just a real woman trying to play on emotions. At least the VTuber is an anime girl playing a character for you.
Yeah, and the
But
other
also,
thing is
oh
also
god,
when people make comments on idol culture, the problem is they usually get stuck on just thinking about idol companies. And when they think about idol companies, they think about the biggest controversies that come out of them because those are the only ones that have enough oomph to the stories to penetrate across the seas and into the West.
Mm.
But the thing is, when it comes to idol culture, most of these critiques of it do not acknowledge what it actually is, besides one, the corporate side of it, and two, the controversy surrounding the corporate side of it. Fundamentally, the thing about idol culture that makes it appealing is not just the idea of playing a character, it is the idea of becoming the embodiment of something more than just a normal average person, having a dream that you are so dedicated to chasing that you inspire a whole group of people, your audience, to push you along your journey to reach that dream together. That is, that's the aspect of idol culture that makes it the aspirational part of idol culture is what makes it
If you
different to just
need
being a streamer, right?
if you need a
Or just
dubbing
singing and
down,
dancing.
idol culture is basically a giant shonen.
yeah.
Don't say that. The wrong people are going to. The wrong people are going
Do
to.
we need to call Ari? Let's make My Hero Academia agency. No, but I mean, there's some truth to it because it's the idea of like becoming more than you are, having people cheering you on. It's very satisfying. Like, when I attended, I guess, my first VTuber concert at Vexpo, it was very much an eye opener on what makes idol culture great for me, and why it's so intrinsic and necessary to like VTubing identity. Because essentially, you're taking all these girls who are, for the most part, socially awkward, mentally ill, and through your dedicated support, you are managing to put them on a stage to sing in front of thousands of people. That's very uplifting, and that's what idol culture is all about: uplifting people who, especially VTubing, uplifting people who would have never gotten the chance to be successful entertainer, well, to become just that and to fulfill their dream. And that's what makes it so appealing. So removing the idol equation part of it, that what does that make it? That make it just streaming light, which I don't find very uplifting.
You know, it's like you bringing that up. It's like, again, I'm just bringing up Armchair's stream from yesterday. You're talking about Dizzy being able to actually do her idol thing.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's good to see her be able to do something more than just, you know, everyday streamer things. Her being able to, you know, do the thing that she's wanted to do and having a really good time with it too.
Yeah,
I love the Dizzy.
so to give a bit of context, the reason why that was something that stuck out to me is like this major thing was because this is a creator who previously was very very harsh on herself when it comes to her ability to perform on stage, her ability to do anything music related, etc., etc., etc. She is a brilliant creative. She's great at doing RP streams, playing characters, coming up with interesting scenarios to create essentially works of theater that fully exploit VTubing as a medium to showcase what you can do. She's had entire things where she's had conversations with past identities where she's piloted, old models or whatever, and had like full on interactions, conversations, and acted those out, right? But this was an exercise in her basically pushing herself out of a comfort zone that she had previously established with how she talked about herself on stream. And her ability to succeed when it comes to that was, again, it's part of the whole, that's part of the whole idol culture thing. Just watching someone succeed at something, with, this is a pretty, arguably pretty simplified version of describing it. But basically, achieving a dream, right? Achieving something that would not have previously been deemed possible, not just, through a combination of that union between fan support and personal dedication, right? Yeah, of course, Demonstrous is in chat right now. Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Whenever you talk about Dizzy, it's like a summon spell for him. But I think it does. We I feel obligated to mention that Dizzy was before part of a company that, let's say, wasn't very nice. So it also kind of put her in that position where she's like, "Oh, I'm in this terrible company. That dream is never achievable." So for them to, at the end of everything, finally being able to achieve that dream, again, very idle, very uplifting.
And for those of you in chat who did not see the absolute key moment from the Dizzy concert, there you go. Dizzy roll.
Dizzy roll.
Dizzy roll. It's like, it was funny because I only seen this because my editor Nyanta posted about it. He's usually a big Cleo simp, so seeing someone other than Cleo on his feed was shocking.
Yeah. Do I need to remind you that Dizzy has said before, yeah, objectify the shit out of me, and I'm objectifying the shit out of her right now.
Oh yeah. It's great. And Mags, I seen you in chat saying that you can't gatekeep people from not using an avatar, which yes, that is very true. But you can gatekeep people from the culture of VTubing, because hell, it's like every time you see normies getting uppity about VTubing, all you gotta do is slap a lolly on screen, see the reactions, and then filter.
And even then, we have people who use like PNG tuber and VTuber adjacent model, and who just don't call themselves VTuber. They just don't engage with it. They just call themselves streamer, and they build their communities just fine. Like,
Yeah.
why are you attaching yourself to a culture you neither like nor respect nor want to engage with? You don't have to call yourself a VTuber, because once you label yourself with something, sure, it's beneficial in the sense that you're gonna get the attention of a certain crowd, but also comes with moral and social obligations and a set of expectations. Once you call yourself a VTuber, there are going to be certain expectations of how you should behave and act that are going to be thrown your way. Now, you can call those bullshit as much as you want. That doesn't make them less true. And as long as you're unwilling to acknowledge that, well, you're kind of screwed.
Yeah. Also, I like this comment. The cracking of bones was deleted in post-production.
No, that's Tenma, actually. Remember what I said on Armchair stream yesterday? If her bone doesn't crack, when she gets up, she's not a hag.
Yeah. uh but yeah,
Peanut would never do the dizzy roll.
it's just like VTubing as a as a medium can do absolutely amazing things. There's so many amazing people that I've met in the years I've been doing VTubing. Heck, even outside of VTubers, the people who do clips, editing, stuff like that, absolutely amazing people. The rats in Rima's rat chat, absolutely phenomenal. I love all of them. I got to meet my editor Nyanta through Rima, and it's just like being able to see him grow his stuff in editing for more people's and making me so happy. It's like there's so many genuine people out there that deserve so much love and attention. They work so hard. And I honestly, it's like I'm thankful to be able to hang out with them, spend time with them. I have met some of my best friends here. Honey, my wife, one of my best friends, absolute darling. She is back and making content on her Honey account. Maybe we can drag her back onto the Archcast someday. That would be fun. Just there's a lot of good people out there. You just gotta push aside the large indie VTubers and look for them, but I will always happily suggest people. There's Ruru, another one of my good friends. She does ASMR content.
It wouldn't be a Lumicast if we weren't simping for Oni openly.
I will simp for my friends. I love them so much. The Cage Girl? Yes, the Cage Girl. The fact she's just known as the Cage Girl. Fantastic. True, huh?
She
yes.
got dunked by YouTube, by the way. I don't know if you saw that.
You got dumped by YouTube?
Yeah. She got
who?
like 2 strikes and shows he's Hermanesan banned her from YouTube for 2 weeks.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Huh.
I think you should check that, but I'm pretty sure that's what happened.
Watch big and
Actually,
small
let me see
VTubers, I don't
if
care.
I can pull that up.
Oh yeah, that's fair.
I'm pretty sure I did see that.
Well, in the fact, Superior Lumi, Evil Lumi. Hey.
I forwarded it to the stream room chat. Yeah, she got 2 and shows yeah. She's not gonna do YouTube for 2 weeks.
Oh no, not that Ruru.
Oh, not that Ruru.
The Lulu Ruru.
Well, there's too many Ruru. Yeah. Well, this is her.
No, that's.
This is her alt.
That's her alt?
No?
Is that her alt?
I'm pretty sure, yeah. But I mean, this is in her bio. There's the link to Manururu Neko, so I'm pretty sure that's her alt.
Okay.
And she's open about it.
Okay, I never looked at her side account. I'm like, huh? She usually just says everything in DMs.
She joined an agency, but I don't know if you're aware.
Oh yeah, I know. I can't wait to collab with her again. It'll be great.
You're gonna have to wait until strike goes away, right?
I mean, it's collabing on my channel, not hers, so.
Oh, okay.
Guru is the same as Lumi. There are too many of them to count. Well, this Ruru has a little bit of infamy behind her. If you know, you know, type of thing.
You know, it's funny you mentions that because I did exactly that tweet earlier in the day where I was like, there's too many Lumi in VTubing. We should hold a battle royale to decide who's the best Lumi. And Kaneko Lumi herself noticed it as we started the stream. So, you know, coincidences upon coincidences.
Wait, hold on. Also, wait, Lumi Nyanta says he works for the incest VTuber. Is that you? Incest Shotokan. Yes, that's me. Me and Yanta have a lot of similar tastes, which is why we get along so well. I also got him drawn
Protect
in
the
a
Shodakan
B-maid.
from her. Protect them from her. She has evil thoughts behind her eyes. She's gonna
Shut up.
do horrible things to them.
Shut up. Let me go through some of these super chats that built up a little bit. And I'm sure it's getting late for you guys on the other side of the ocean. So we can start wrapping up. Mercenary, before I forget, Lumi, all my donos go to the dog suit in Japan fund. Please write it down. Make sure Arch knows about it the hard way. Tango, I honestly thought VTubing was a meme. Okay, I already watched, fucking read that one. Angus the Red, I think Iron Mouse is the Hassan of the VTuber world. To go full Hassan, she needs a dog in the background and go to China, Dawn of War 3 fund. The Forbidden One, beg for subscribers, Lum, you have no dignity, Dawn of War 3. I don't beg for subscribers, that's cringe.
Hey, Lumi,
Mercenary.
Monstrous is offering to draw me as a Shoda. What do you think about it?
Do it.
I don't sound like a Shoda. No,
Do
I
it.
sound like a Shoda.
I have
No,
a
come on,
lolly
Monstrous.
model, and I don't sound like one.
Make me a lolly like the other face clippers.
Are you a face clipper?
No.
You don't get
But
to
I'm
be
a
a
face
lolly.
fan. I mean, face fan have been turned into lolly as well. I mean, have you seen EB?
Yeah. Mercenary, my prediction for Iron Mouse, martial law first. Sparky's Tech Corner, not gonna lie, Iron Mouse has really disappointed me this year. I used to have a lot of respect for her, and she's not the only one. Mechanicus, hey Lumi, is your shot garter active this stream? And if so, how much? Also play Darkwood already? Darkwood Fund. No. Shot garter is not active during the Lumicast. I apologize. That would be too much shocking to keep up with manually. Big Trev, dearest Lum, you never left the institution. We are just voices in your head caused by the medication, and the voices are saying Merry Christmas, little tequila fish. Thank you. Forbidden One, Lum prefers research content like Lum lore, Dawn of War 3. Demonstrous, Dan starts making content and reaches, say, 5k subs before the end of 2026. I'll make him a VTuber model pro bono. Now go, Zan. Well, start making content.
I gotta start streaming, I guess.
Yes, you do. Mercenary,
You
I
should
have...
do react videos.
No, fuck no. Shut up.
I mean, it doesn't have to be, like, react videos to videos. You can do react videos to, you know, Twitter content.
I'm gonna do react videos to react videos. That's where the content is.
React videos to Twitter posts.
Gonna react to Rev's content. There we go. That's where the niche is. Uno Kazahara.
Oh man. Or it's like Curry started making more videos again.
Yeah, they're generally. He's got a lot of receipts, so generally they're very interesting to look into.
Oh yeah, whenever I need to look back on something, I know Curry Renji usually has something. Mercenary X21, I have beta Magic the Gathering cards. When I see this destruction of Magic and other IP, I know it's 100% malicious. People behind us want to do evil for the sake, I'm guessing, of evil. Your name is now Kala. Working out about random nerd shit is core Archcast experience. You guys are doing great. Ochi, how long has VTubing been around? Is it young enough / intermediate that it's changing enough to really matter on definitions? VTubing has been around for a while. It's like, honestly, you could probably... It's like, do you guys remember
A
Face Rig?
decade, technically. I'd say.
It's like, you could kind of technically count, like, back when Face Rig was popular. But when VTubing was coined, that was like in what, 2016, 2017.
I mean,
know
we
it-
saw some of the premise before, so I'd say it's a decade old at this point.
Yeah, it's like the word VTubing wasn't around until Kazuna. But like, you know, people using PNGs and stuff on videos has been around for a long time. And firearms and fitness, random I know, but I'm gonna be a dad. Oh, congratulations! Congratulations, and I hope delivery and stuff goes well with the wife.
If it's a boy, you better name him Wilhelm, because that's a good name.
2016.
If it's a girl, call her Arturia, because I'm a fucking nerd. Is there anything else that we want to touch on before we start ending stream? I am going.
We had the I think the only thing that was missing was the the Evanito post about VTubers.
Oh yeah, come on, can
fucking
we talk about that?
Evanito. Yes, we can talk about Evanito. It's not good drama content until we talk about Evanito at least once.
Okay, wow.
What when he is involved in like all of it somehow? No, he deserves to be talked about.
Okay, fair enough. Not my story to tell.
All right, so Evanito, during all of this whole thing, while Iron Mouse is being dragged through the coals, he makes this post saying, "I've spent 5 years promoting VTubers as these wonderful people I've come to know to normies on the internet, only for random VTubers to say the dumbest thing I've heard in my life and ruin all that progress in one tweet." And then Rev just comes into the comments with a steel fucking chair. Just says, "Yeah, good point, bro. VTubers should just accept hordes of people harassing and slandering them for simply existing to appease the normies that hate them and everything they stand for. Quote, they ruin the progress. Have you considered growing a spine to actually defend VTubers?"
The thing is, what I don't like about Evanita's post is that he puts normies seeing VTubers in a negative light on individual VTubers, and that's wrong for 2 reasons. One, you say that like they had anything to lose in the first place, them meaning the VTubers. Normies always viewed VTubing as a haven for, you know, degenerates and deviants, right? The second thing is, the average normie's impression of VTubing and VTubers is defined by 2 things: people being stupid on Twitter and exploitative VTuber companies. Guess what else Evanito was promoting at some point over the last 5 years, or at least throughout most of the last 5 years? Fucking VShojo. No shit, people are going to think that VTubing is going to be just, you know, just a shit show. If that is the thing that you're holding up as an example of VTubing, like, come on, man.
I mean,
like-
what did Evanito say? Ain't no party like a VShojo party.
Yeah, ain't no. This guy literally said,
Probably.
"Ain't no party like a VShojo party." Like,
know,
come
it-
on, man.
Even the original aged poorly. Why would you post that? That's like
I don't-
putting aged milk on top of aged milk.
Yeah. I don't even understand what he was driving at here. Like, he words this as if the people in his social circle are people whose approval is worth something. Like, come on, man. You and your social circle had your approval bought for the price of what? Access to champagne and backroom gossip? Like, come on.
You know,
That's not a prize.
not
Don't
not
dangle
to
that in people's faces as if its loss
n-
means anything.
not to be too mean to Evanito, but a cheap hooker has higher standards than Evanito. I think that's a good thing.
It's like some of the shit that I have heard from other people that even Ito alludes to that he knows is absolutely fucking insane. People still trying to rat about who the corpo VTuber he lives with is. It's like, man, you seen I was doing this when I was still in TVA Cord, when we were trying to
Yeah.
line up timelines on when he was live or when other corpo VTubers were live. It's just man, I don't know.
Here's the thing. How can you know all these horrible things about all these horrible peoples and still sit at the same table as them and eat with them? I don't know. How do you look yourself in the mirror and say, "Yeah, I'm doing something right"? Like, even all that horrible stuff, at the very least, don't hang out around those people because you think they're horrible. I understand the idea that not my story to tell as much as a meme it is. I have used that myself before because it is true that sometimes you gotta like let the people who this mostly affected be the one to find the catharsis of exposing that story. And sometimes it's more complicated that just if you notice something bad, just about a company, just push it to the front. But at the very least, have some self-respect. Don't hang out with those people anymore. That's the
It's not even
minimum I ask
again.
of people.
I don't even. That's not even the part that bothers me. It's more so if you want to reap the benefits of associating with these unsavory characters, don't then get on your high horse and then pretend like I've worked so hard and my approval is no longer there, and the people I've been trying so hard to get approval from, these horrid VTubers just ruined it all for themselves. Like, no, that's
It's
not
so
what happened.
it's like, honestly, I think Evanito and self-respect is on the same level as female VTubers and accountability.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking
I
about
can
a guy
see
who
the
made a
analogy.
whole video of him going around with his friends,
Yeah.
eating up on cosplayers at a convention. So I
Yeah.
don't know if
I
self-respect
can
is the first thing I think about when I think of Ivanito. And
I
even
will
then, I'd
say,
say,
yeah.
no, go ahead.
I will say credit where credit is due. In the stream that I did going over his response to the Vishojo stuff, right? He did have the ability to sit in chat and basically take it as people were laying into him. Credit where credit is due. But at the same time, I can't help but notice that between like Vishojo buying off, approval with parties and Nexus buying his approval with fancy dinners and a flight, like the price is too low, my guy.
Yeah.
It's why? What? It's you gotta sell yourself for something high if you want people to think that your approval is actually worth anything.
You have to have standards for yourself to be worth
Yeah,
anything. Like, how is
yeah,
anyone supposed to look up to you, Evanito, if you want to put yourself in that position? If you have no standards, you're not worth looking up to. That's simple.
Yeah.
Respect
yeah.
yourself, man. You're worth more than this. Why aren't you angry? Why aren't you pissed at yourself? Come on, get a grip, dude.
It
Even then, I would also say that like he's aiming at the wrong people, which I actually commented under that post. You should aim for like I don't know, like companies that would be interested in sponsoring VTuber, like gaming companies, like gaming
I don't think
laptop
he even needs to go
companies,
that
gaming
far.
companies, like
I think
but
that
you
if
know what I mean in the sense that like
yeah,
you're
yeah.
trying to cater to the wrong crowd when you could do something that would actually create actual opportunities for VTuber to like quote unquote profit.
I mean,
You're not
it's
doing
really
something
like
useful.
if what the issue is looking at things that have ruined VTubing in the eyes of normies, the answer is literally just as close as the nearest mirror, because if you look at the things that have been promoted to normies as representative of VTubing, there's a big fat white, black, and pink thing that no longer exists and only ceased existing halfway through this year that did a pretty it was pretty big in terms of defining how most normies saw VTubing.
yeah.
And all of the people who promoted that, they are, at least in part, responsible for people viewing VTubing through that lens. Like,
I don't because like you said before, the internet has a short span memory. I don't think people realize how big Vishojo imploding was on how it affected normies, because like Vishojo truly was the face of Western VTubing to normies. Most people know about Iron Mouse because she collabs with all those big people.
I
She
mean, even
went on like
Tectone. Remember
Tecton.
remember earlier this year when Gagura graduated, Tectone was saying like, "Oh, VShojo is like the
All life
least
is
bad
good.
VTuber
Yeah.
company, etc., etc., etc." And 5 months later, you went, "Oh, I always knew VShojo was horrible and exploitative, etc., etc., etc."
Right. We believe
Like,
you.
okay, buddy.
Okay, buddy. And it's funny also how the other thing that was sold to normies is Gura, and Gura doesn't exist anymore either. So I don't know. Funny.
It's
I
still
guess the
funny.
only normie close thing that is left is Mori Calliope, and even then she's a special case.
Yeah. It's like I
Because
still find it funny when Gura graduated, and then a bunch of self-proclaimed quote unquote Gura fans was like, "Oh, but she's not a lolly. I don't think she's
oh
ever gonna
yeah,
go to a lolly
oh
avatar
yeah,
again." And then
and then
Saba
she
came
debuted
out.
as Saba. The great filtering. Oh, that was great. That was a fucking great day when I read all those Twitter just saving at the lolly model. That was fucking great.
She
Oh,
has always been a
I got a good
lolicon.
chuckle.
So
Always. Like you don't even have to watch her content. Some of her most famous clip are her making jokes about lolly and the four-letter words. Like this is not even someone trying to be disingenuous would have seen those clips. This is worse than tourism. This is actual low-key cloud chasing with like something you literally have no idea about just because you saw it trending on Twitter and you saw an opportunity to dunk on Lololicon or Lololi or whatever. Or Le Shota. Or Le Didi Blood.
it's like there's simple things to do to filter out people. It's uh, like we can't gatekeep VTubing as a medium. The best that we can do is just keeping our spaces just cleared of people we don't want in them, whether it's through
The culture and the convention. Those are the two important ones, if you ask me.
And are you guys ready for FazeCon next year and how people are gonna have to travel through California traffic during the same week
I'm
as the
too poor
fucking
to
World
care.
Cup? The World Cup
I'm
goes
too
on at
poor.
the exact same week.
I can't go to the US. I'm too poor. This is not my problem.
Yes, but the people who are going to be traveling to California for FazeCon,
you know what? You know what I'm gonna say? Too bad, not my problem.
I mean, it's like I'm never going to go to fucking California. No, never.
I think you mentioned that on your stream yesterday, I'm sure. But the fact that Hotel Gaylord
Yeah.
ignored Sakana, and that's why they didn't do it in Texas, is just hilarious.
Well,
it's just
it's
such
like
a funny
I seen
sentence
some.
to string together in your head.
I mean,
I
even
seen
worse,
some other
did you see
posts
today?
about.
They brought up the secret gay files because apparently I think it was like Leah made a bunch of like Sakana got sad because people said that like FaZe was homophobic or something, and like Leah made
No,
a
people
bunch
said
of
that
like
he was homophobic.
yeah, and like Leah made a bunch of like ally video and stuff, and people were like, "Release the gay files, Leah." So that's just
It's like
god.
this was one thing interesting that I was actually seeing. I was seeing posts about the hotel specifically in Gaylord, Texas. Is that it's such a in demand venue. You have to start calling consistently, like a year in advance, because otherwise they won't get back to you. So it might have just been poor timing.
Yeah. I don't know though. Just the idea of FaZe kind of getting ghosted by Gaylord, it's just funny.
Gaylord Hotel.
It's like honestly, if they want to try to get that venue for next FazeCon, he needs to start scheduling now.
Man, they should make a FaceCon in Milwaukee. What are you doing? Go to the Midwest. That's where the best people are.
No. It has to be in Flint, Michigan, just for the memes.
Oh, just for the memes. Okay,
Just for
sure.
the memes. Go to Flint, Michigan. Ugh.
As long as it's the Midwest, I'm fine with it.
But let me go over these last couple of super chats. We'll start winding down. Sir Jan, hey Lumen, think about becoming a VTuber in the future. Any suggestions on the start process and pitfalls to avoid? Don't get a model right away. Start with a PNG tuber. See if you like streaming. Because that's a lot of people's downfalls, is that they want to invest a lot of money for a model. Then they figure out they hate it. And then they try to sell a used VTuber model, but then never sell it because they're pricing it way too high. So start off with a PNG, see if you like it, and then probably after a year of streaming, start looking for a decently priced model artist. And don't forget, you don't have to get a full body model. I know plenty of VTubers that just have a model bust, because you hardly ever see the full model unless you're spinning it around during Zatsu streams and stuff like that.
If I may, because I have this thought right now. I think one of the things you should take away from this stream is that, you know, that one meme of like, there is no passion, there is no vision, there is no aggression. That's what you need to take. If people don't have that passion, that vision, that aggression, piss on their pants.
Jesus, piss on their pants.
Maybe it's just me, but I don't know.
Is that like a French saying?
Piss on their
No.
pants.
No, we would say piss on their shoes, probably.
Okay.
You French people are fucking weak.
I've never heard that one before. I'm gonna start saying that.
You just go up to somebody and just like, I'm gonna piss on your shoes.
Actually, if you want to provoke them to a duel, you need to take a glove and slap their face with the backhand
Oh
of it.
yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
I
That's
knew
yeah.
how
that
to
one.
start a duel. Okay. Hey, did you know that like the last French saber duel happened in the 70s?
Yeah,
Huh.
I think I vaguely remember seeing that somewhere.
I know the last beheading was in 1977.
Yeah, as well.
Mm.
Aren't we fun
You
people?
guys you fell off as a country after the 70s, eh?
Yep.
Yeah, we truly did, man.
And
No more sword duels.
now you just have President Macron and wanting to ruin the church with
Dare I
shit
say,
ass.
President Macron getting groomed by his teacher.
Oh
Man.
yeah. We were talking
is-
about the French and their issues
What
with
Why are
pedophilia.
you bullying me? I'm right. You know, maybe it's just me, but when you're so unbridled with passion as I am, seeing just like the laziness and the lack of will from people like Evanito, for example, just drives me up the wall. It actually makes me genuinely mad. It's probably just a me thing. Like, if you don't have that, you know, that bite to yourself, why even care? Why do you do the thing that you do?
Honey.
Come on. Man, that's so depressing. I don't
know, right?
Passion. That's what I care about.
Let's see. Kella is Fishin Estonian, so you naming me that is fitting. Huh, I learned a new word today. Alex Adamson, my first introduction to VTubers was the Project Melody controversy, where she took viewers from plush cam girls. That was a weird experience. Armchair actually has a whole video on the Project Melody thing, if you want to go watch that in your free time.
Oh, that is a rabbit hole that I'm just waiting to see if it opens back up at some point over the next year, because I think people have been, when it comes to the Vishojo fallout, a lot of people have been keeping track of what's been going on with Mr. Ignacio. We all know that he's bankrupt. Apparently, he's behind on paying rent to his apartment, which is, to be honest,
funny.
it's kind of funny. But no one
It is
seems to know what's
objectively
going
funny.
on with the no one seems to know what's going on with the ex-COO, which is quite interesting.
Or with Mountain Dew as well. I don't think he's said much since he had that one Twitter post. And
I
you
mean,
know, another thing
I
that
don't
like
really. I'm
An-
only
another
waiting to
thing
see
that
if there
like
are
kind of
Google Dockies going to come out about Mountain Dew, but I'm much more
oh,
interested
probably
in the COO because he was, he was one of the only two people who was actually going to get money if Vishoja was going to be acquired by someone else.
true.
It's
No,
pretty
there's two things
important.
I'd bring up as well. Is like Project Melody as a video game project that we still haven't had updates about for a bit now. So I don't know where that is. And the second thing I actually forgot. God damn it! Keep going, Lumroom. I remember it later.
Okay. Mercenary X21. I was there when Saba crashed the YouTube chat. Crashed the YouTube chat to do. Dude, Saba's debut. Absolutely fucking insane. There's no way you can read a single word in that chat. And she made fucking bank that day too.
I
Like,
think it was like the second biggest indie debut of all time.
yeah. And it's like good for her. Now she's back to her regular schedule of she'll stream eventually. But it's like it's still like a whole event and still gets a lot of views when she does stream when she's feeling
I
better.
actually got on an argument in Rima's Discord yesterday about this. Because, like, see, Saba can afford to do this. She was the biggest EN VTuber ever. Like, she's conditioned her new audience to this idea that she stream whenever she feels like it. And because, she had such reach, she was so successful, she can allow herself to not stream, quote unquote, because she know that whenever she come back, well, people will just immediately flock to her because each of her stream are an event because she's like this mythical, mystified, and mythological almost figure for VTubing. Whereas a regular streamer, well, the moment they stop making the content, people stop caring.
Yeah.
So now that everyone is allowed to stream like how Saba does.
Yeah. Mercenary, pray for
And
my
I
soul. I'm
remember,
trapped in California and go Trump.
I remember the other thing I wanted to say. Remember all that spreading anti-Hololive rhetoric via 4chan? Does anyone else remember that about Vishojo?
Sorry? Oh, the COO spreading rats on 4chan.
Yeah, I remember
Yes.
that.
You know,
Yeah.
I've said that before, but if you need any proof that in between every three schizos, you actually have an industry insider take their personal grievances out on other by making rats, well, there you go. Now you have all the proof you've needed of what I've been talking about for like 2 years now. So it also kind of felt a bit. How do you say that again? I felt
Vindicated.
satisfied with myself. Yeah, vindicating.
Mm.
You'd be surprised how much NDA breaking is actually going on in 4chan at time, but it's drowned between a bunch of other schizo theories, so you cannot believe anything that's on there at the end of the day. So,
Yeah,
like you often talk about, you play by the rule of the medium you choose, and if you choose 4chan, well, you know what to expect. Just watch a parrot video.
I miss my fish, Lumi. I miss her a lot. I'll be back. Hey, I'm right here. Man. But it's like I love discussing rats, but the only thing that I'll take at face value is when I hear it from the talents themselves. And there's a few times I have heard from the talents themselves, but that never leaves DMs. Ugh, I don't know. Anyways, is Hololive still alive? Fuck yeah, they're still alive. They still make fucking bank. They're still doing concerts. They just opened up auditions again for more talents. So expect more indie graduations probably within the next year or so.
In fact, they have one of the sexiest women to have ever lived, Nerissa Ravencroft. You'd recommend? And yes, I am shameless about it, like everything I do.
Let's see. Is there anything else we wanted to talk about before I start wrapping things up and then I start chilling your stuff?
Well, I guess I could thank Demonstrous for the new PNG. That was very nice of him to do. And I guess now I kind of have to start streaming. Damn it.
Yes. You could just do yaps like I do. You could just yap.
No, actually, I could set up, and I'm thinking about setting up some kind of gaming. That'd be nice. I like playing video games, and I think I say funny things while I play video games. I don't know.
Are you planning on doing this on YouTube?
Yes. There's no way I'm going
Start
on Twitch
with-
after shit talking Twitch a lot.
I shit talk
You should
Twitch
start
all
with
the time.
videos.
I mean, imagine me spending the last 2 years shitting on Twitch and then going, "Oh, I'm going to stream on Twitch." By the way, nah, come on, I'm not some cheap hooker.
Well, multi-stream to YouTube, Kick, and Twitter.
I don't. Man, I have too much to say. You're gonna teach me some of those things.
Okay, I'll do that.
Okay, thanks.
You got anything else to add, Armchair?
Not really. I think I've got through everything that I wanted to say.
All right. Well,
Take
it
your
was
pills. Don't be too paranoid.
Yes. Take your pills, take your meds.
take your meds, go outside, touch some grass, or if you're in the Great North and you have snow, ball up some snow and shove it in your mouth. But
Do
it was-
snow angels.
it has been a fun stream. It has been fun yapping with everybody. But don't forget to support our two fellas here. Have Armchair does lots of yapping, nice long streams that are good to listen to if you're at work or if you need something to listen to while you fall asleep. His channel I just posted. And then Zan, French, derogatory, but he does do VTubing PR stuff, and he also has a lot of opinions on various things on Twitter. And he will start streaming soon. I will threaten him daily until he does. You can
I'm being
follow him.
pressured.
Follow him on Twitter here. But thank you everyone for joining for the Lumicast. I know I get to do these rarely, but I enjoy it. It's nice when Arch is feeling lazy and then I can throw him in the basement. Then I can do these. It's always nice chatting with you guys. And I will see you guys next week for the next Archcast. I don't know what we'll be doing. And make sure you suggest more people that I can bring over as well. And do that on my Discord or Twitter. Good night, everybody. Happy New Year's. Have a safe weekend. And I will see you guys on my next stream. Probably on Sunday, one of the two. But good night, everybody.